Hi, Cynthia's. Hi, Mia. Hi, Barbara. Mm. Y'all. Hi, Danny. Mm. Y'all. Hi, GT. Hi, Kat. Welcome in, everyone. Hi, Honey Bear. Girl, Mia. Because you know I have thoughts. I got thoughts, okay? I have opinions. Hi, Erica. Star. You know what? Because I already finished it. Are y'all not done watching yet? Not you tired. Please don't be tired, friend. Hi, Posh. Hi, Destiny. Listen, I heard today was a day. A day. But Danny, girl. Hi, period, Mia. I made a video for y'all and I just haven't posted it yet. Hi, K Boogie. Star's Journey. Do I really, girl? Thank you, Erica. Because in the video, I'm like, this ain't my best work, y'all, but it's going to work for this week. Okay. I had to use the products I had on hand, baby. Hi, Doreen. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, T. Hi, T. Hi, T. Danny was inboxing me, y'all. Like, so Tina, I hope you're a good friend. Where you at? Thank you so much, Mia. Hi, Adeline. Hi, Adeline. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, Boogie. I just got to get some shit off my chest. And then we could do another live tomorrow. But I cannot go to sleep without getting some shit off my chest. Okay. Keisha, yet. Period. Hi, J Baby. Hey, Lisa. Whoo. Hi, Nay. You know we are, Juanita. I just need to get it off. I just need to get off. I was literally texting in my group chat as I was watching the show, and I was like, oh, baby, they not gonna like what I have to say tonight. They gonna be mad in my comments, y'all. But you know, hopefully they sleep. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully they sleep and they not gonna be here. Not only was she gaslighting, but so was that man Jeremiah. MK, I will come back tomorrow, I promise. Hi, Jolie. Hi, Marmar. Thank you for the share. Listen. Because I literally texted in the group chat and I was like, y'all, I literally feel so vindicated about fucking Andreina. I feel so vindicated about Andreina. It was always the fucking men. I told y'all. I'm going to get into it. I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to hold it until people are in here. But I'm like, you motherfuckers. Y'all tried, not y'all, right? The general public. Y'all tried to gaslight me all fucking season and during the game. She's just boring. And I'm like, y'all, I just think she's cute, right? She's cute and she's a little bit awkward, but because she's cute, they expect her to act a certain type of way. And if she don't act like that, then it's a problem for them, right? You know what? I'm trying to hold it. I'm trying to hold it. Hi, Bad. I need to text. Hold on, y'all. I'm about to text my group chat and tell them I'm on. Okay, hold on. Okay, period. Thank you so much. Hi, P. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I'm trying to hold it as long as I can. Oh, I'm trying to hold it as long as I can. Before I, period, Kiana. Period. I know, bad. I know. It be hating on a player, okay? Hi, Gigi, my love. Hi, Moana. Is it pronounced Moana? If so, cutesy. Hello, Moana. Hi, Justice. Hi, user. A lot of numbers. Mona. Still cutesy. I feel like I haven't heard that name in a really long time. Hi, Miva. Y'all. I did just start. Shin. I'm trying to hold it for as long as I can. I have so many thoughts. Mona, we're going to talk about the season finale of Beyond the Villa. Bro, I'm just trying to hold it long enough. Like, I've literally only been on for like 5 minutes. I'm like trying to hold it long enough for people to get in. And then we got to get into it. We got to get into it. P, you don't have to watch the episode, but I am definitely going to spoil some shit. I'm sorry. I'm just letting you know right now, girl. Whew. Cause girl. Athena, yes. Hi, Nayo. Hi, Athena. Hi, Athena. Listen. Not with those bitches. Hey, Boogie. Hi, JJ. I'm glad you come for the commentary. Hi, Ari. Listen, I need to start with Andreina, cause I'm a quick 1-2 her, and then I'm gonna get off of her. But I got a 1-2 her. I got a 1-2 her with the Jeremiah situation. Oh, thank you so much. My nail tech would be so happy that you said that. You know what? The next time I see my nail tech, no, I'm not. I was about to lie. I was about to lie. So let me just pull it back in. Let me not lie to y'all. Hi, my love. Hi, my time. Jamila, girl. Jamila been rocking with me since damn near the beginning, y'all. Girl. Hi, Renise. Thank you for the curls. Thank you. What did I say? You know what? Because, hi, it's me. Because production plays with her. But tonight y'all got to see. And y'all know, I got to start with my disclaimers because, and I know it's not going to matter. People still going to think what they want to think because people are very black and white. But let me start with the disclaimer. I know she's a Trumpy. I'm no longer a fan. Very disappointed. She's someone that I genuinely like. She was one of the few people that came out of the villa and was like, I actually don't give a fuck how much emotion that girl got. I'm actually going to tell y'all the truth about what that experience was like. And I respected that. I'm talking about Andreina. I respected that when she came out of the villa. That she was like, actually, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I said what the fuck I said. Like, I was with that shit. I was with it. Because I felt like that really said something about her ability to stand on her own. And I know she's a Trumpy, so no, I don't fuck with her like that. Yes, y'all, I know. There's always somebody in my life that like is learning it for the first time when I say it again. But yes, y'all. The people told me that she is a Trumpy. I know. And, maybe I'm not going to do it. I was about to like give some sort of like diluted explanation for it, but I can't. Okay, Boogie, I'm sorry. Okay, but we are going to just acknowledge that she was a bit vindicated tonight. Right? Because the narrative about Andreina, ever since Brian, and let's clock that T, he only even had this story because she said, I want to pursue other people. I want to still explore. And then he's like, I don't know. I'm kind of over it. She's boring. Right? That's where the fucking narrative started, right? But she's had this narrative that she's boring. And I told y'all during Love Island Games, I said, y'all, I think she's just awkward. And I think that she's having the experience of people see her, they see what she looks like, and they want her to be a certain type of way. By they, I'm talking about the people with peens in between their legs, okay? The men want her to be a certain type of way because of how she looks. And they don't make space for her to be just a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? And then tonight we got to see on the last 2 episodes that she was the one that wanted to play the game and was like, oh my God, y'all are boring. Like, let's do something fun. Let's turn up. Like, when she sat down and had that conversation with them girls and she was just listening and she's like, I'm on the outside looking in, I'm actually going to say that I hear where they're coming from and I understand where they're coming from and blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then I just got on Ren. I have not seen the sneak peek of season 8 yet, Sheen. I have not. And then we watch Jeremiah gaslight that girl about her experiences. And here's the thing. I'm just going to do a 1-2 on him. Just a 1-2, y'all. Here's the thing. I know that he is responding to her the way that he is because of all the flack he got for Huda during the season. I am clear about that, right? Him saying, because he was stuck on, it's mutual. Why is he stuck on that, guys? Why is he stuck on that? Because of what everybody said he was doing in the villa when it came to that girl, right? But the fact that he was stuck on that was keeping him from hearing what she was saying. It was keeping him from hearing what she was actually saying. He couldn't hear shit. And then tried to act like she was crazy. But I'm sorry, my friend is not scooping me up. My friend is not kissing me. My friend is not, you know what I'm saying? He's not doing all that. My friends are not doing all that unless they want to fuck. And what it is they have reduced her to a sexual being. Don't pew the messenger, okay? They've reduced her to a sexual being because of how she looks. And then when she doesn't play all the way into that and she wants them to actually have to stand on to some shit, then it's like, whoa, you're being weird. Whoa, I don't know, guys. Oh, I don't know. She's doing a lot. I don't know. Oh, she's a little boring. No, you just want her to show up one type of way. And when she doesn't, then all of a sudden, you're not fucking with it. That's weird. That's weird. Hi, Mish. Hey, cutie. So, hi, girl boss. Hi, Nicolandra and Nacho. So, I definitely feel like she was, exactly. I definitely feel like she was vindicated tonight, right? That like she had that experience finally of being like, actually we're seeing a little bit more of her. What we're seeing of her is that she actually is fun. The girls like her. She has good sense when it comes to like, hi Antoinette, when it comes to like having difficult conversations. But because you only want her, you just want her to be able to do the flirtatious banter and maybe have smacks. You don't want her to do nothing else. And so when she does something else, you're like, ooh, that's weird. No, you just don't want to see her as a whole person. You don't want to see her as a whole person. You're doing that shit that girls be, oh, that's just that's my cousin. That's like my brother, but she wants to, you know, have sex with him. That's bestie. Shut up. Exactly. He wants a sex buddy, but you should just say that instead of acting like she's being a weirdo or acting like, and then she said, she's like, it's hurting my feelings. Like if you were my friend, you wouldn't hurt my feelings. And she absolutely is feeling like her mind is being, and her feelings are being played with. Will you close my door back, please? Thank you. She's feeling like her feelings and her mind are being played with. She's like, you're saying one thing, but you're doing another. And then what we are getting is like this girl that's like, what? Because the men, right? They don't make no space for her to show up as her actual self. They just want to reduce her to this sexual being. And that's it. And anything more than that is like, whoa, that's too much. Damn, that's kind of fucked up. Actually, that's kind of fucked up. He never needed one. Oop, what if I said that, bro? He actually never needed one. Should have never been handed over. And then the fact that Nuh-uh, Mona, I wasn't there, girl. I wasn't at the ceremony. Mm-mm, it wasn't me. Don't put me in that. But like when they were at the cabin and Charlie was rightfully calling out, like, from the guy's perspective, like how the girls were being divided and weird. He absolutely took their side and was like, basically, I don't give a fuck. And then when Bella said a valid statement, whatever I think about how Bella's moving, right? Because I think she is doing a little bit too much. You got to stop begging people, which so glad to hear her stand up for herself. This last episode. Oh, that's fucking weird. Actually, it's kind of weird that Iris is saying you owe me loyalty simply because I'm a girl. Oh, don't think for yourself. You should just believe whatever I tell you. What? Why would I just believe whatever you tell me when you're not even acting like a friend to me? I don't even know you. She doesn't even go here. What? I'm just supposed to... And the fact that I'm not just going along to get along, the fact that I'm not a follower somehow makes me the bad person in all of this? What do you mean there's two sides to the story? That there's more than one side? What do you mean? Jim X Jim. First it was boundaries, then it was girl code. It's all manipulation. Hi, Charlene. It's about control, wanting to control the friend dynamic, the group dynamic, right? And when you don't fall in line, I don't want to fuck with you. And while that is their right, about 10-ish minutes, that absolutely is their right. They get to choose, I don't want to fuck with you. Also, don't gaslight the girl that that's what you're doing. Like, don't lie and act like that's not what you're doing. That is what you're doing. Just stand on it. But you know how insane that sounds, and so you're acting like that's not what's happening. And good for Bella for actually standing on it and being like, no, this is what happens. Please. Exactly, Ro. Exactly what Charlie said, right? Like, we don't have to be friends, but you can say hello. Because to his point, what have I ever actually done? The fact that, number one, at least during filming, they still haven't let go of the villa. They still haven't let go of the villa, right? How many times did we hear a reference to the villa during this season? Too many times, considering we didn't hear it basically at all last season. It's like we're in the villa again. You just pulled me for a chat. It's just, oh my God. And I get it. This time the filming was much closer. Okay, I get it. But they're still in the villa, right? And so this idea of being a girl's girl that was fucking in the villa, that meant that you were just supposed to do what was said without question. Why are we not carrying that in real life? So can we also clock the T? That it wasn't just Houdini pushing that in the villa? Because y'all are doing this in your real life too. Yikes. Agree that the adult friendship thing was definitely giving infantilization. Because yeah, in adult friendships, like, of course, you go time periods without talking to your friends. Sure, you don't hang out all the time. But to act like she's not actively watching you hang out with, thank you, dark skin, with, what's that girl's name? Hannah. Like, you are making a choice. I wish you would just stand on it. Just stand on it. Just be cool with this is what it is. Amy, we just talked about I got on Jeremiah and Andreina, and then now we're talking about Hannah and Iris and that whole conversation about the friendship that went down. Also, kind of hilarious that thank you, dark skin, that they exactly, Angie. Kind of hilarious that they were talking in the hot tub and didn't think about the fact that people were in the house with them and might possibly hear what they were saying. Now I know she's like, oh, I never say anything that I'm not willing to like repeat to a person's face because I know that I'm being like filmed or whatever, like I'm not stupid or whatever. But no, dark skin, I disagree. I disagree. I disagree. And that's not really friendship, right? So Iris weaponizes friendship and is just looking for unquestioned loyalty. That's not really friendship, in my opinion. And I would say if someone was in my office therapeutically and we were talking about friends and they told me that that was the context of their friendship, we would be talking through what friendships should look like. Like that's something we would be exploring if this came up in therapy. Because what? The fact that you're not allowed to think for yourself is the condition of the friendship. That's not friendship, baby. That's control. That's control. That's not friendship. You're not allowed to have your own opinions or to form them. You're not allowed to get information to come up with your own conclusions. That's actually weird. That it's required to just go along with whatever I say. Don't seek out any information for yourself. And then ice other people out because I say so in order for you to prove to me that you're a friend. That sounds weird when we say it out loud, right? It sounds weird. Hi, seventh letter. And Mish, honestly, those are not even good high school friendships. You know what I'm saying? But it is giving high school. Like Grayson said, which I told y'all that too, right? It feels like they're on the playground again. She feels like she's in middle school again. And like I told y'all, right? I don't feel like I'm a popular girl right now. Because to her, even though she's kicking it with Bella and Coco, they're not front runners in her mind. I said what the fuck I said. If she could have it her way. I said what I said. Somebody asked me to expand on my thoughts about Andreina. I already did. I will very, very briefly say that the men are the problem. Period. Full stop. Which is not that much of a shocker, right? But like we literally watched her have an experience and then listen to a man say, no, that's not your experience. And then act like she was weird because she was saying, hey, what is this? Like, I want something. If we're going to pursue something, then let's pursue something. What he was hoping was it was going to be enough flirtatious banter where maybe I could, slip off them little Vickies or whatever she wears. I don't know what the girls do. Savage, whatever the fuck, right? I can slip off them little Fenties and do a little 1-2, but I'm not going to have to give you nothing too much. And so when you start trying to define it now, I'm like, oh, you're being weird. Oh, no, what are you doing? Oh, no, oh, it's too much. Like, no, y'all just see her as very attractive. Body is banging. And so y'all reduce her to one thing. And when she's anything outside of that, you're not fucking with it, right? And Brian started that narrative. I said what I said. And I think that boils down to like Brian might have wanted a little bit Maybe she started trying to define it. Maybe she started trying to, because we watched her be fun. We watched her come up with ideas. We watched her be level headed and consult the girls and be a little kiki, right? When she said, Taylor's my friend, he don't be checking in on me. But you should though. Like she's a little kiki. And they're acting like she just don't have nothing to offer. I don't know. It's just, it's giving it's y'all. It's giving it's y'all. And not her. Those are my thoughts. Clock that T. Something to conquer, right? Y'all. Gigi said, y'all, she told me she about to get bananaed because of her because of her opinion.
Because I already know that girl mama watching. That's it. I'm just gonna let y'all have it because I already know it's coming. So I just might as well brace for it. Y'all might not hear from me for the next 4 days. Virus is a lie. Virus is a lie. It is contagious. Y'all put on your mask, wash your hands, because stay away from it. It is the plague. I don't understand. Like, not that I don't understand, but it shows to me that it is built in that girl's DNA. She gets it from her ancestors. The lying. It just doesn't make sense to me. And then you know what? You clocked something, Tina, about Grayson and the weirdness about surrounding her wanting to be friends with a certain group and not wanting to be in another group. And she named it today when she says, well, I feel like I'm not the popular girl. Bitch, what? Bitch, what? Yes, Jim, put her on that shit. You put them people, bring them people aboard, put her on that shit. Put her by herself on a ship and just leave it out at the sea because and we will drop rations in eventually because what the fuck. But yeah, it was really weird that she, you clocked it, Tina, that she put that out there that she wants to be the popular girl. She wants to be, in the white cake mix. Like she wants to be in the batter really bad. Jeremiah, who that coon skirt behind that bar when them girls are there trying to listen in. Like I expected that out of TJ because, but Jeremiah, I said this earlier and I'm gonna say it again. I better not see him anywhere near anybody's island. Somebody buy him a subscription to Audible or Kindle Unlimited and confiscate his passport. His ass don't need to be anywhere near Fiji ever again. Anybody's island.
Okay, Camilla and Ren, I literally said the same thing in my group chat. I said, nah, he's pulling the hood up.
Yes. Just there. And then he holding it down for his little baddies. Talk about, well, no, that's weird. They don't have to be friends. Like, boy, bye. Go sit down. Like, I just want to inject him with some testosterone. Like, And then Chris, what do you mean? Oh, I want a queen. I want somebody established. Nigga, you not established. What the fuck? Killer fuck? Like, are we being for real right now? You want somebody established? Oh, okay. So you want a pull-out couch. You don't want a regular couch to sleep on. You want somebody with a pull-out sofa. You want somebody with a modular couch. Ooh. That's what he want. He want that cloud sofa, girl. You ain't got no cloud sofa. Talking about, oh, she was raised by a single dad. Like you don't have a whole single mom, but she was raised by a whole single dad that gave her expectations. God forbid a black girl be raised by a man that gives her expectations.
He said, oh no, she thinks highly of herself. I can't do this.
Are we fucking for real right now? He has never beaten those allegations. That girl was never her time. Okay, I'm going to say something really unhinged and y'all don't frighten me, right? Coco, I think she's a gorgeous girl, but all I could see underneath with all that big hair is that scene from Coming to America. Oh. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, thank you, because that's all I can see. Buck like a dog.
I can't.
A big dog. That's all I can see. I mean, it looked good. Don't get me wrong. It looked good, right? But that's all I keep seeing. K Boogie, you gotta watch it, girl. Yes, thank you, Seventh
A
Letter, Vanessa Bell
classic.
Calloway. Thank you. That's all I kept seeing, and I was like, "What the fuck?" But that being said, like, my opinion has changed about Coco in the last couple of episodes.
Mm.
I'm glad that well, okay, not changed too much. I'm glad that because the whole love bombing shit really still throws me. I'm glad that she was the one who was able to be like, okay, let me just, all the pussyfooting I can't. Y'all were talking about us, we heard it, and this is what it is. The gall, the utter gumption of Iris and Hannah to sit there and go, what? Like, did you say what you said? You know you did. And that has been my
Mhm.
biggest problem with a lot of the girls on this season. It's y'all don't stand y'all pop your shit, but don't stand on it. It's like, why? You pop your shit, but you don't stand on it. You said fuck Chris. You said fuck Brian. Why you ain't say fuck Charlie? Because Charlie knows all the tea. That's why. Quiet as it's kept. Y'all ain't say fuck Charlie. Charlie asked, what did I do? What did I do?
Mhm.
What did I do to you? But no one can say nothing. Why? Because they know Charlie knows the fucking tea. And Virus, run. Somebody please, Tina, you're a professional. Please make it make sense to me. Virus is mad that Bella had a conversation with Pepe, but she's not mad that Hannah did. Bella can go up to Pepe. Bella can't go up to Pepe, but Hannah can.
Yes, because Hannah went up to him talking shit. Because Bella went up to Pepe attempting to mediate and allow Pepe's voice to be heard, that was the problem. Is you're not supposed to allow him to be heard, you're just supposed to jump on him.
I can't. I can't. Because she know that, because if she heard the other side, you heard say, what other side? There's two sides. Like, bitch, do you hear yourself? She thinks she's Regina George. She ain't know that girl got hit by a bus at the end of the movie. She thinks she's Regina George. I don't
Listen.
get it.
So listen, I'm glad that somebody else called it Seventh Letter. And Destiny, so did Hannah basically confirm Grayson and TJ did mess around with that whole I'm gonna steal your man line? Cause how was
She
that
sure
Grayson
did.
and not Andreina? I'm gonna take your man. That wasn't Andreina,
Mm,
that was Grayson.
mm. Maybe that's why Grayson went up there all confused. Like the fuck? That wasn't me.
And here's what I didn't like. Here's what I didn't like. What I didn't like is when Grayson got up there and you said, are you good? It gave, I'm trying to embarrass you. And the fact that they tried to act like that's not what was happening was actually pissing me off. Because what are you talking about? Even Charlie was like, that just made it weird. Like, that made it awkward. Like, the vibe is off. Like, it's weird. And even Andreina was like, I mean, yeah, like, it's off, but like, let's just try to keep playing. But like, you did that to try to embarrass that girl. Which to me gives mean girl energy because you all already had heard, or at least Iris from Bella at that point, that they were feeling isolated. And I'm not going to even lie. I actually didn't like that Coco was the one that said something. Because why is the black woman speaking up for you? Both of y'all are sitting right here with fucking mouths. Say what you need to say.
Because they
Say what you need to
scary.
say.
Because they scary. Because at the end of the day, they still want to be in. They
Exactly.
still want to kumbaya. So they don't want to be the
Exactly.
ones who bring it forward.
Exactly, which I don't appreciate. I don't appreciate that one she didn't realize that, right? Because the way I would have been like, because they were saying Bella's name. They were saying Bella's name. Bella, you gonna have to say something, baby. I ain't got baby. They were saying your name, so you need to go ahead and say something, right? And then Grayson is, you crying about not being in the crew. Girl, speak up. But why do I need to put myself out? No, I don't, Nike. I'm just keeping it super controlled. But we can have a light goal in general. But like, yeah, I just felt like it actually wasn't on Coco to be the person to say anything. And I don't feel like she needs to be their representation or their guard dog. Like, fuck that shit, actually.
I can
Y'all
see
can
that.
speak, and we know that Bella can because she said something to Iris, right? But don't even get me started on that. But the fact that she was just like in her confessional, oh, I don't like it, blah blah blah. Dark skin, I'm not gonna read that comment out, but girl, I said what I said about the first episode, okay? But like, yeah, I don't like that actually. Yeah, I know y'all want me to talk about Amaya and Brian. I will. I'm gonna bring up a couple more people. I will talk about Amaya and Brian. Chris and Coco, y'all, it's nothing to really talk about. Like, let's just be honest, right? They were dating for the sake of the show. We're not gonna pretend like we don't know that. Okay. All that we really need to say about that is like we had confirmation yet again on this show that he is a low effort man. Because Coco said it. Like he doesn't give the same level of attentiveness. He started out strong and then it fell off. And we knew that from the villa.
What do you think of Iris pulling that conversation with Clark about the boys at the club?
She wanted Clark to have a reaction real bad.
And probably
Okay, so
negatively towards Coco.
well, not even negative. What I thought she wanted, call me a conspiracy theorist. It's fine. I am. What I thought she wanted was for Clark to feel upset about Taylor being in the club.
Okay,
Yeah,
I thought
maybe
so
that.
too.
And Clark didn't even
Exactly.
catch that because Clark was on FaceTime with him.
Yep.
I
Yep.
think she wanted to stir the pot and she just didn't know that there was. I think that they want. Anyway, I think that they want to be the it couple, right? And we can't be the it couple if there's another. Exactly, Nola girl. If there's an. And so I think she thought she was going to stir the pot, but that girl had already
Yeah.
talked to that man.
And
Girl,
caused
we all
Hot
saw
discourse
it in
between them
4K
to
in
have a
the
fight on the
club.
show.
Mm-hmm.
We saw it in 4K. Like, did she hit that club? She knew where her man was at. She knew where he was at. And like that's what kind of throws me. Is like I feel like I'm forced to dumb down because other people can't catch up.
Mm.
You ain't got to dumb down. They ain't hard to figure out at all. It's the most. But I feel like everybody on the
I
show
know with
has the
us
same
it's
exact storyline, and she was trying to create it again with Clark and Taylor. Everybody got a disgruntled situation with an ex or a situationship, and then half of them are being mean girls to the other girls.
I
All
know
of them.
it's very obvious to us.
That's
But we
how it's
also
divided.
lived in a world where Houdini exists and people still cape for her.
Well, let me say this. Everybody trying to rewrite history because Amaya, Jeremiah, and a few others have shown themselves to be terrible on this show. That does not take away from Ace and Houdini being just as bad as they were on the original season. Like, let's stop trying to rewrite history with them. Maybe they had good points about certain things, but they still did what they did. And they were
Well,
right.
yeah,
They were
absolutely.
rightfully critiqued. No, but not you. I'm seeing a lot of people like, "Oh, Ace was right. Honda was right. Honda was."
Yes.
No, they wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
They was a part of the mess.
Period.
Yeah. People are very either or when it comes to this whole everything and life in general, right? But we see it so much with this show. As soon as one person falls out of grace and it's like, oh my gosh, I should have always believed this other person that said this thing about them. And it's like, no, they were still wrong, right? Which is why I'm like constantly giving the disclaimer of like, no, they're still wrong about this, but also this, right? Like more than one thing can be true.
Yeah, this and.
Can I
Yeah,
just
exactly.
ask, because I was 25 minutes behind you all, 35 or I don't know, what have y'all talked about thus far?
Yeah, I wasn't here the whole
So,
time. She was going through the show, I think.
Okay, so I talked about my perspective on Jerry and Andreina and how I feel like Andreina was vindicated
Yeah,
tonight. That it's really
absolutely.
not that she's boring, it's that you all reduce her to a sexual being and nothing else. And as soon as she wants something else, y'all start acting like she's weird. I will talk about Amaya and Brian. I promise you my opinion. I heard you. Um, and then we started talking about this whole friendship conversation that the girls were having, blah, 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 how that was weird. How it was very also like gaslighting. Like you're basically trying to tell Bella that her experience is not real, even though she's living it. We're all watching it and experiencing the same thing she's saying that she is living, but somehow your interpretation of it is completely different than what everybody else around you is saying. And also this request to say, be loyal to me and take me at my word, period. Don't ever seek out any additional information. Otherwise, you're not a girl's girl. You're not loyal. You're not on girl code, blah, blah, blah. Like all that shit is so weird. And that's not real friendship.
You know what was very interesting to me, Tina, about that is that I did go back and watch it a couple times because I was just like, it's very interesting being an adult, watching somebody who I can be a mother to talk about what it is being an adult
Mm.
and how I was just like, yo, if this is how you perceive with adult relationships, you think that you can not reciprocate a friendship and expect a loyalty? I
Absolutely.
don't know
She
that
does.
world. I don't know that world, and I'm so grateful that I don't.
She
I am
wants
very
blind
grateful that I'm not.
loyalty. She wants
That's
blind
it.
Facts.
She
loyalty.
wants blind loyalty because of what we saw in season 7 and the blind loyalty that created these stand wars without holding anybody accountable.
Mm-hmm.
And
She
that was the formula, the recipe that she thought that she could get out of this hole beyond the villa season. She said, "Oh, I just need to create a narrative
Mm.
She knew who she
that
can do it to because Bella
absolutely,
is not assertive. Bella's not gonna push back, and she knows she has Hannah as her attack dog. So anything that she says, she got at least one person backing her up. And then if Hannah can hold a conversation without crying, if she does start crying, then Jeremiah's going to interject and then go wipe her tears. That's what pissed me off with him, between the difference in the friendship or whatever relationship he wants to call it between him and Andreina. You can't even be straight up and have a conversation with her. You tried to shut her up, but every time Hannah is being messy and on some bullshit, you run behind her with blankets and paper towels to soothe her for being disrespectful, saying that she's doing it because she has anxiety and she's going. Every time you get held accountable, you got the world on your shoulders,
mm-hmm,
like
Because that's
nobody
his
else
mm-hmm,
has
type.
problems.
yep.
Because that's
And
his
here's the thing too.
type.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry,
Listen.
because that's his type. I've seen it
Yeah,
in every.
Oh, of
Listen,
course,
his trope,
but
I have seen it in every Chinese drama that is on this app. They go running
we
for the
know,
girl
girl.
that starts crying. Oh, that is not, that's just my friend. And then boom, they wind up drunk and in bed together. It's
that's
the
probably the kind of
same,
woman
it's
his
tale as
mama
old as
is.
time.
Absolutely.
It's a
It's the
That's
tale
why
as
he
same
old as
thing.
time.
recognizes it so much. It seems like that might be the type of woman his mama is, and maybe his aunties from her side or the women on her side of the family.
Well,
So he's
he's a
familiar with it.
biracial. He's a
Yeah, but he's
biracial.
familiar with it, but he was raised by her.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
He's a biracial. He's a biracial.
I
That's why
said
that's
in
why that
TK's
exists.
live, Jerry must stand for Geraldine because he acting like one of the girls.
Girl, 700.
Being one of the
Joe,
girls.
the first thing that
I
came to my
love it.
mind was Nene Leaks and Peter. I literally thought of that. I was just like, oh, so you want to be a bitch? You wanna be one of the
I
girls?
mean,
Give him a
here's the thing.
peach.
Girl,
Here's
give
the
him a
thing for
peach.
here's the thing for me with Jeremiah. I don't even know that I think Jeremiah wants to be one of the girls. That's what it is, AJ. I think that he just so much favors being in the good graces of people that he considers to be people of like
Superior?
status, right?
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't gonna say superior. I was gonna be kinder than that,
Superior.
Gigi. Okay, but I think he likes being in the good graces of people that he considers to be of high status, right? Which is why he wants to be like y'all was not y'all. Okay, now y'all three, but like why Nika Landry was trying to hand him a baddie chain and oh, let's go watch his episode on St. Dennis because he hypes up our girl and he supports our couple. Like what? Like he benefits from it. So I think that he enjoys being in the good graces of people that he considers to be
Can
of high
it be
status.
both, though, Tina?
That he wants to
Can
be one of the
it be
girls.
both? Can it be both?
He
That
wants
I
to
don't know,
be
because
in one of the
He in the
girls.
mess
calculated.
with the girls. I didn't
He
like
he
that he
did
was in their mess.
Nikki,
because
love. He doesn't want to be one of the girls. He wants to be in one of them girls. That's what that is.
correct.
okay,
That's
fair.
I
it gives
mean,
more that he
it's
wants
not
to lay down
hard.
with one of them.
It's not hard. Not with
Like
either one
dark
of
skin
them.
said, not dark skin said, like in a circle. Like in a circle.
I know y'all talked about us being canceled, but listen, if Jeremiah went to Hannah and she would spread it low and open wide, all she had to do is say a word, and her little man child boyfriend would be out the picture. All Jeremiah had to do is give the signal, and Hannah will be right there. Cancel me, bitch, if you want to.
No, he ain't gonna give her that Amex. Y'all heard them say that tonight. That Hannah boyfriend hand her the Amex.
Because
He ain't gonna do that.
Hannah's telling us how she wants pho and he flies her to Japan. That's not about to happen with Jerry.
Yeah, he no.
Wait, he won't fuck.
He just ain't
He
gonna
go
do
to
it.
Japan.
Nikki, I gotta drop you, girl. They reported you. You can come back in 10 minutes.
What did she say?
They got you.
You know Jerry in here, child.
Jerry and his little angels, man.
Or Hannah. I don't know, one of them, child.
You know, she just got to give him a little hot. And that's
I
all.
want to add. Did you speak much about Coco and Chris, or did you just say I don't care because they were a fake show couple?
I think we glossed over it a little bit.
I did gloss over it a little bit. All that I really said is like, it's clear, like I said during the villa, that he was a low effort man. Like
Yeah.
she confirmed that tonight, that he was low effort. Yeah, that like he just wasn't giving what it needed to give. I think he had a lot of audacity. I think that, men sometimes are just a little bit delusional. Because the fact that, Anika, there were 2 episodes, the season finales were tonight. The fact that he and Brian were sitting there having that conversation and Brian's like, you tried. And he's like, I really did. I tried hard. I'm like,
Please. So my take on this, even if we're gonna let's pretend they were a real couple. But what I didn't like is he did this for like 2 or 3 episodes. He kept doing this, like she has this wild alter ego and she goes crazy. Coco versus Courtney. You dealt with the craziest bitch in that villa and you gave her grace while there, and immediately after called your mama and your sisters off when they saw what was popping and wanted to call her out for the BS because they probably had real conversations with you about what we didn't see. I did not like that you're doing that to Coco, a dark-skinned Black woman trying to create this whole little angry Black woman when she's Courtney. That was completely unnecessary when all she was asking you to do was legit the bare minimum. She was not asking you to overextend yourself in any way, Mr. Low Effort. And then when he took that conversation with Brian, well, I tried. And then he set up and basically said he wants a sugar mama. I don't want nobody this and that that's building. I want somebody that got their own. And you don't have anything to balance that out. And also you set up and said, oh yeah, she was raised by a single dad. So she has high expectations of this and that. And that's what I want my daughter to have. How do you want your daughter to have a man that you don't even want to try to be? And he walks around with this attitude, like we know he's a former athlete. But he walk around like he played for the Lakers. Like, Chris, no, you are not giving it up like that. Like everybody's just going to go crazy. It's like, okay, we see you tall, you got curly hair. What else is going on? Coco was
Nothing.
basically asking you to do stuff like hold the door, don't walk that far ahead of me because you're 6'8" or 6'7". I'm shorter than you. It take me a little bit of time, like just basic stuff.
Yeah.
He the birthday.
And he
But
tried to
she like-
demonize
Listen.
her, like, "Oh, here come Courtney." What? I didn't like that
Listen,
at all.
But what did you
I'm-
think Seventh Letter about this man saying that he wants somebody who's established, who got their shit
A
together?
sugar mama. He want a sugar mama.
Boy,
That's what he
what you
want.
got together? What you got together?
He
but your
he
clothes
ain't
in
nothing
this
but a
plastic
if it
bag?
wasn't for this show, he'd be sleeping on somebody's couch, putting a big dent in it.
What you got put together but your clothes in a plastic bag, your tidy whities in a plastic bag? What you mean?
He's a male baddie. I'm telling y'all.
Y'all.
He's
Okay,
a diva.
listen.
Just a hobo smack.
Nike said hobo.
Somebody said it in the comments, and I agree that it gives colorist, right? I don't think he actually
Mhm.
likes dark-skinned black women. I don't even know that he likes black women. I don't know.
No, I don't
But
think
I
so
will say,
either.
right, that like one of the first things out of his mouth to Coco at that date was, "What are you mixed with?" Right?
And
So part of
she
the
took
reason
the
why
bait.
he was and of course, because why wouldn't she, right? But like even I would say that even part of like obviously Coco and Shelly like have similar features in some ways, right?
Mhm.
And part of that is like looking exotic, even though they are dark-skinned black women. And I think that was the only reason why there was any level of like initial attraction to him or attraction to them. Even if you look at KK, the way that KK's eyes are shaped, right? Like all of that is like, it gives like, ooh, what else? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the only reason why he could tolerate any level of attraction. But I don't think that that's what he actually prefers or would choose to like be with.
No. He knows it looks good for the show, and all three of them are like insanely beautiful. But I don't know if they clipped it with Coco and Shelly, if he asked them that foolishness, but I didn't like him asking that. It's like, she's black. You don't have to justify her beauty with being mixed with something else. She is a black woman. Why can't that be enough? Like, black women are beautiful without being mixed with all of this that you
Anything.
want. Yeah, anything, I guess, exotic or whatever. He's just, I don't know. He's low energy, low effort. He overinflates what he does because he's like, I did the gentleman thing. I winded down. You took her go-kart racing when she said she wanted to do ATVs. Again, low
And
effort.
he took her go-kart racing as a fucking group activity.
Group date like they in middle school.
Please. So y'all want to know why Nick was there? For nothing. He was doing somebody a favor or something, child.
Getting a check.
I'm sure he got a check, right? I'm sure he got a fucking check. But
He needed people to tune
that's
in.
The
somebody
most
said that they
interesting
think
part of the
that was-
season for me.
They said that they felt like it was a moment where TJ was trying to put himself and Iris on par with Nick and Alandria. To me, it felt like less about him trying to put them on par with them and trying to like fish for what they've got going on.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
To me, it felt like he was interviewing him and trying to see, what they got going on so me and Iris can copy. But he was trying to have a conversation, so it didn't sound like he had nothing going on. It was a little of both to me. But I was like, while they were having that exchange, I was like, Nick, quit telling them stuff. He gonna start doing it. He's gonna try to pretend that him and Iris got it going on. But that friendship is done. Good.
Yes.
God.
Yes. Like someone said, it was giving Inspector Gadget. I thought it was interesting. How are you all doing like the long distance thing? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It just felt like this was the only way Peacock was going to get any sort of update about what's going on with Alandria.
Yep.
And I think that Nick did a great job of telling them exactly what we all already know from social media and not anything
Basics.
more.
The basic.
Can I give an apology to Andrea? I feel like I need to give an apology to that girl.
Go ahead, girl.
You are
You
right.
have the floor.
You are right. She was awkward. Because, because the last 40 days before nights, I've been saying that girl talk with her titties. And she does, right? But
Sometimes the titties are the outfit, Gigi.
Sometimes it is about the titties. And you know what?
You're right though. I think that there is like a level of awkwardness to her. I think that for me, what I saw in like the last couple of episodes was her trying to move in this space beyond talking with her titties. And it sounds like the elevator was trying to go all the way to the top, and people were and I can admit when I'm wrong, right? And I think people were dismissing her like I tend to do, to like, oh, she's goofy, she's silly, she's slow, it's all about her titties, like it's all great, right? And that's not fair. That's not fair. So I apologize, Antigua.
No apologies, but I think she did herself. She held herself down properly when she was telling Jeremiah, like, no, you initiate this. You flirt with me. I like you and you start this. She's like, yes, I flirt back, but you started. And he tried to keep shutting her down. And then how did y'all feel about like when she was telling Taylor and Clark about it, and then he came over there to get her again? I don't really feel like he made himself look any better with part 2 of the conversation. He
I
said
agree.
nothing really. It was
I
the same
agree.
mess.
I agree. I think he's very triggered by you led me on because of what
But
happened
you
with
did.
Honda during the season. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm saying I think he's so triggered by it that he literally could not hear any of the logic behind what she was saying, because what she was saying made perfect sense. She's like, no, I am reciprocating. I'm not saying I'm not reciprocating. What I'm saying is stop initiating if you don't want something for real with me.
Yeah. And that
he
was
just
fair.
kept
I'm
missing
glad
it.
she stood her ground with saying that, because he kept trying to act like she was being crazy. She wasn't. Now, oh girl, actually crazy. Actually crazy. We're not dismissing that.
Oh no, she probably got a call.
Oh no, it was battery. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
girl was actually crazy. I'm sick of the revisionist history. Andreina, I'm
Child.
glad she didn't let it carry on any longer. Although I still see them pretend, up until the show started airing, I still saw them trying to pretend that they had a little something going on. And to me, y'all know I've always called Jeremiah a fence straddling social climber. I think that not only does I think he did that for a combination of things. He knew Andrina liked him, and he also wanted to use her for public clout. Like, oh, are they really together? Are they really not? Something going on. And they got a couple brand deals together.
I mean, she likes the man, y'all. The thing is, she likes the man. She thinks he's cute. She's attracted to him. They had that little spark in the villa, right? And so there probably is that, like, what could it have been had he not gone home, that happens for her. So I'm not going to fault the girl for being curious. I do think that, like, he needs to back the fuck up if that's not what he wants. If what he wants is to just be her friend, then he needs to be her fucking friend, and that's it, because she doesn't do clearly she's not rocking with the friends with benefits, right?
No.
And so she wants something more than that, and that's okay that she wants that for herself. So he should actually, if he's been in therapy, which he said he has been, right? He said in the villa, like, I went to therapy for like a whole year, whatever, like, then back the fuck up. Respect that then. You know what I'm saying?
He went to
Listen
therapy.
to
I don't
what
think he
she
paid
said.
attention much.
Just like he ain't read them books.
Child, please.
Listen, it don't have to be a Kindle subscription. They can get him an Audible. They can get him an Audible subscription.
I can't.
And then use his first
They
3
wanna
tokens
know-
for Black books.
They want to know
He
our
definitely
opinions
needs a
on
mic.
this Iris TJ Pepe thing. I mean, my opinion is no different than it was last week.
Yeah. Nothing new
I have
happened.
videos about it. Nothing has moved for me. Nothing has changed for me. I did think it was interesting. I will say this. I thought it was interesting how TJ talked about it with Nick, because it was not giving the same energy that they had in Pepe's face. It was very different. It was much more calmed down. And I'm sure that that's because he knows that Nick is boys with Pepe. So it's like, it was much more subdued in the way that he retold it. It was like, we just disagree, and we just keeping it, we're not cool. We're just not friends.
You think-
very different than Why you lying on my name? You know, very different
That's 'cause
energy.
Wait,
his
you
girl
think?
wasn't there.
You think Nick know, and he know not to activate Nick, because then Marcella come out and tell the shit.
Y'all know Nick
I'm
can't
just
lie.
saying.
He
I'm just
chooses his
saying,
words
'cause
carefully, but that boy don't lie.
you
He
think
can't
maybe
lie.
he ain't activate that man because he was like, no, listen, it's big Marcel, not little Marcel. I'm gonna let you
Not the little
know.
one, baby. Okay, so if you weren't here last week when I gave my thoughts, I do have a video about it. Essentially, long story short, the only thing that I know for certain after watching this season of Beyond the Villa is that Iris is lying about something. I think that TJ doesn't realize some things are lies, but something is being held back. Something is not being told fully and truthfully. We all watched the last week's episodes where we saw only one person actually pull out their phone with undoctored text messages and show the contents of the conversation. We only saw that from one person last week. We saw one person last week own up to what they did do and deny what they didn't. We only saw one person do that. Okay. So that's kind of my thought about it, right? Is like, I'm not a person that's saying that he's unequivocally telling the truth about everything. What I am saying is I know that she's not telling the whole truth about something. That much is clear.
And he was
You're
the only
welcome.
one to apologize last week too.
Even though I don't think that he should have
I
been.
don't think
I'm
he owed them
honest.
one. I'm not a fan of apologizing when I didn't do anything wrong. I don't so with Iris, like we've seen throughout this show, she's the root of all of the mess, be it putting a battery in Hannah's back, putting a battery in TJ's back, trying to overly exaggerate whatever happened between her and Pepe without telling us the whole story. We saw TJ have egg on his face when Charlie was like, yeah, no, that's not how it happened. I was there. I was in the conversation with both of y'all. So she's a liar. She's a mean girl. And this is what I want to say about TJ. When he had that conversation with Amaya about how stupid she was acting with Brian when he greeted her, you wanted to go and ride on the Latin culture and Latin household thing during the season. He's being a product of the Latin culture and the Latin environment. When he greets you, that kiss on the cheek means nothing because you let him do it when y'all were in Palm Springs. But when TJ was having that conversation with Amaya, he understood where Brian was coming from in that situation, but he didn't compare that to him and Iris and the over exaggeration of being dangerous, being disrespectful. Because Amaya, why are you so like, I just want to respect me and my boyfriend? I'm like wondering, does he have abusive tendencies, or are you just over exaggerating it because you want to have an issue with Brian? I get you being
Still
mad,
want Brian.
but y'all still had a one-on-one where you pretended to squash it. So it's like, why all of this? Like like you cool with a woman. It is hot and cold. It's confusing. And I'm glad that Brian took her aside, because it's like, okay, I thought we was cool enough to say hi. Yo, dude ain't
Right.
here. What is the big deal? I just don't want to disrespect my boyfriend. We know you got a boyfriend. Brian ain't cared about you since he got that Rolex, girl. Like, he don't want you. He's not fighting for a position to be in
Right.
competition with your man. He happy
I
you
will
got
say
a
that
man.
I don't even think that it was disrespectful, guys. Like I truly feel like it was like, oh, I hate to say it. It was like watching the villa again. It was like Amaya, someone said it in the comments, Amaya took the position of like Ace this episode, like, oh, that's like disrespectful. And he's like, you know that this is cultural. Like, this is how we, like, this is not, it would be like, you know, in France when they, right? Like, it's just culturally what they
Yes.
do, right?
All of
You're
a sudden,
being
she knows
weird.
boundaries.
Acting, listen, you're being weird acting like it's something else actually. But the fact of the matter is what you just said, Seventh Letter, right? When she pretended to squash it, and I told y'all that. And I know that we talked about it on my panel, right? But I said, she don't actually fucking with that man, because her energy every time the conversation got brought up about maybe talking to him and squashing it was like, fuck that, I don't want to do that. And then eventually she'd be like, I mean, I guess we could talk, you know? But she was not fucking with it off rip. She had that conversation because they kept pressing it. She never wanted to make up with that man.
Okay,
And she should have just said
We've
that.
seen
I
this
want to ask you
before.
one last question with her. Did you pick up on how when she would talk to the men about the scenario or just the situation with her and Brian versus when she would talk to the women? When it was the men, she wanted to be all soft, even brought herself to tears. But when it was women, F that. I don't want him with, I don't want that, all that popping off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of you're my ex and you getting a little too close, you too comfortable. Da, da, da. It was all that with the girls, and it was I just don't understand why can't I just girl?
I was
It was
like,
I
giving
told
what
y'all
am I
about her.
watching?
I'm sorry.
I
It
told
was
I told y'all that about her in the villa. She
that's
plays with her
Chameleon.
audience.
She's a
that's what I'm
chameleon.
Y'all don't
saying.
think
It
that's the
was
snow
very
angels that
Scarlett
she was making?
O'Hara. It was
She's a
giving Scarlett
chameleon.
O'Hara.
A
No, you don't think that
chameleon?
was wait. You don't think that's a snow angel she was making?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It was booger sugar involved because them eyes would not calm down.
Thank you.
But
Hannah
Thank you,
too.
Seven Letter, because I thought
Han-
so.
Hannah
but she
too. Hannah
still
was on that. Hannah was on that too.
it was giving pills and potions with Hannah.
Y'all,
Pills and potions.
let me say this though. Let me say this, and then I need Danny and Angie to go. I'm gonna tell you this. Hate the wigs. Hate the wigs. I need them to stop telling her that they're good. They're not.
I wanted to
They're
pull
not.
them
Even as a
bangs
non-wig
down.
girly, I'm like, those are not good. I know that those are not good.
I wanted to pull them bangs down so hard. Oh my god.
Okay, Angie and then Danny, please give me your thoughts.
All I gotta say is this: like all season, ever since that season started, everybody keeps on saying, "Man, some of them shouldn't have went on there." I'm glad they went on there. Actually, I want that to happen every season because I feel like a lot of people didn't get enough screen time to show their true colors. Because who would have thought? Who would have thought Iris was this bad? Oh, you've been new? I didn't
Oh,
know.
not about Iris. Not about
Oh,
Iris.
oh,
I was
Absolutely,
gonna
I
say
knew.
papaya.
I didn't know
I knew
about
about
Iris.
Amaya Lynn, and
I
Iris
knew
was
Amaya was
suspicious,
like
but I knew Amaya
questionable.
Lynn.
Yeah, I know Amaya was questionable, and like I was always on the fence with Amaya, and I sort of always wanted to give her grace, but I knew something was wrong. But Iris, I never saw it coming. But to
Mm.
everybody that never saw, what's that other blonde name? What's the other blonde, y'all?
Janice
Banana.
Banana.
or Grayson?
No,
Okay.
Banana. I been knew something was up with Banana ever since the way she reacted with the British man. What's his name? Lord
Charlie.
Jesus.
Charlie.
Yes, the way she acted with Charlie that one time when he decided to go talk to somebody else, I knew. I'm like, this girl is
It was
hiding something.
Iris.
There's a temper in there. It's like all of a sudden the way she was acting, it was unwarranted towards the man. I'm like, her, yeah, I was not messing with her. And Jeremiah, oh my God, what a disappointment! Like I knew something was wrong with him because like I said, no woman goes crazy for nothing. But old girl was too crazy. That's facts. But he was doing things, and that just proved all the things that she'd been saying that he was doing. Something's wrong with him as well. Pepe, not the biggest fan ever since he said that all life matter business, but that villain edit that they're trying to give him, it was never gonna work. The man is too calm and collected to be put into that box. It was never gonna work. It was never gonna work. Who else? Charlie. Every time Charlie comes on my screen, he ate. Charlie is a man of character and he cannot be played with. Period. Who else? Grayson, what a loser. I'm sorry. She gives loser behavior. I'm sorry. Stop trying to kiss butt. Like, stand up for yourself. She gives kiss ass. I'm sorry. You gotta stand up for yourself. And then the thing that she said, like, I don't feel like a popular girl. How old are we? How old
She's
are we?
26. She told us she's
Oh,
26.
that's sad. That's just sad. That's basically all I had to say, y'all. That's it. Somebody.
I need to say this about somebody just said they're gonna feature a Maya Lynn song on season 8. They played it on the episode tonight.
When
They played it on the episode tonight. Like right,
it was
it
that
was the
forgettable.
as
Yeah,
it was
they played it.
transitioning. As it was transitioning from like her scene with her producer and going to something else, you know how I'd be like showing the city or whatever. They play.
Mm-hmm.
I watch everything with captions,
They
y'all.
played it.
So I seen it. That little part. You want some of this papaya? You need to sip it up or whatever the fuck. Like, I'm
When I
sorry.
wanted to throw
It's
my
bad.
ears in the trash. Oh my gosh.
It's bad.
Why do I feel like it's just corny? And like, why is it that I feel like people don't recognize how corny this is anymore?
Oh, we do.
Like,
They
it's
just
losing.
let
Oh,
her
No,
Angie, I
I
have to.
know the panel does.
Angie,
but
I
like,
have to drop you, baby.
Yeah, I
Give you a
just saw. I've never
restriction.
been restricted before. What kind of hater just did that?
congratulations. This is my
I've
first
never.
time too.
Oh Lord! All right.
It's a you get to talking about their queens. I mean, here's the thing for me. I just feel like y'all are losers to sit in here and listen to people talk about people that you love in a way that you don't like. And instead of you coming up and speaking your piece and defending the person that you love so much, you report people. I think that's loser behavior.
That's
actually.
cowards. They're cowards.
I think it's weird. Because I don't even jump on my panel. Like, we don't jump on my lives. You can come up here and speak your piece. But at least stand on your shit. Your queen said they stand on business. Why can't y'all? I don't know. It's weird. Danny, please give me your thoughts, my love.
I'm going to start with the person that actually had me cracking up this whole episode. Nick came in to show you that his girl got him a watch, that him and his girl are booked and busy, and said, "That's all I got for you. Goodbye." I cried. I cried. Man said, TJ was asking him all these questions. He was like, "Yeah, that sucks for you." Even the way he shrugged off TJ's question about Pepe, and he was like, "Oh, I just feel like Pepe did me wrong." And he was like, "Well, anyway, so my girl got me this watch, and I'm DJing, and bye." Classic Nick, loved it, cracked up. I heard a lot of this season about psychopathic liars and people who are manipulators. That blonde one, the Botox face one, I'm not gonna name no names, but she's a psychopathic liar. Like, the way she just riddles off these lies to the point that she had me agreeing with TJ. When they were in that bathroom and TJ was looking at her like, "Girl, you're not even making any sense. Like, why are you sticking up for Maya?" That conversation that she had with Bella is a lot of things, but I'm happy she clocked the hell out of Iris. She was like, "Yeah, I'm not you because I'm kind. Point blank, period. Like, I'm not you because I'm kind." Bella said it facts. "You're not friends with me. Why would I have blind loyalty towards you?" And she was like, "Well, you need to have it toward why? You don't have blind loyalty towards anyone. You don't even have loyalty towards Clark, who is your girl." Because, yeah, Tina, I agree. She went up there trying to start shit with Clark, trying to see if she was going to clock on Taylor. Now, I want to say that part of me wants to say that Clark was oblivious, but I don't think Clark is as dumb as people think she is. And I think she was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm gonna put that on Coco because it's not me and my man. We don't got a problem. I knew where my man was, so what's the issue?" Iris is messy, and she keep this up, that relationship's not gonna last, because even though I do think TJ is calculated, you look crazy. Hannah, you another one that looks crazy. The fact that even Andreina and Amaya had to tell you that, "Girl, what was that?" Because you look nuts. You started off trying to allude to the fact that Grayson was up with TJ, and then gonna say, what's good? Now, Grayson, you a punk, because I would have been like, I would have called her out on the spot. Because we gonna settle this right here, right now. What you walk away from her? I don't have to go downstairs. No, I'm gonna clock you out. Let's go. Hannah, Jeremiah, I'm gonna be a real nice because I don't believe in calling men female dogs like that, but you are weird. You were weird. Even the way that you were sitting with the guys and you were just on Team Girls and all the men are trying to explain to you their point of view and you were just like, no, and ran after Hannah. Weird. I don't know if you want Hannah, but the whole thing is weird. Who else was on here? Charlie, always clocking somebody's tea. Love it. Coco, she did good this episode. Chris was saying a lot of things that also sounded like It could be a Alandria. Not that I do think he wants Alandria, but he wouldn't want her skin color. But you also want a mama. You want someone to take care of you. Because I don't want a princess. I want a queen. You do realize queens also they're higher than princesses, so they need more. I'm confused about your logic. And I think Brian was too, because Brian was like, well, if that doesn't work for you, bye. Because you sound stupid. I'm trying to figure out who else there was. I think
Austin, he came and left. He let them know he wasn't really messing with them.
Austin and Charlie actually had me cracking up. Charlie went to that bar, saw the vibes, and said, I'm sick. I need to go back. I need to go back to the room because I'm not. Oh, Amaya and Brian. Amaya gives me someone who, that whole thing gave me like she was trying to brag about her man so much, because there's no way you had a problem with that whole situation when you did it in Palm Springs. It was giving, I have a man. You wanted Brian to be jealous, and Brian did not give you that reaction because Brian said, I never really wanted you like that. That whole situation was bragging about your man. And if you were that comfortable with your man, it wouldn't have been an issue. If you were that comfortable in your relationship, you would have been like, hey, bye. You made that into a big deal. Brian could care less. And then when he tried to I'm not even a fan of Brian. When he tried to have an adult conversation with you, that whole thing that you did was just off-putting. And then I'm going to flip my hair. And that's how far you look like a clown. You look like a clown. And she knew she was going to look like a clown because earlier today, she put this whole long soliloquy in the comments about trying to explain the situation. It's the exact same situation that you had with Ace. You can have boundaries. It's also how you explain those boundaries. So whoever said that they were glad that they had this show, that everyone was on here, I also am glad. Because a lot of these people had ulterior motives, and baby, close the comments. It's over. It's over. Your branding, that's all I gotta say for now.
So somebody just asked a question in the comments, and I'm going to address it out loud, because when they were on the mountain, when they were getting ready to do the snowmobiles, and the two couples, TJ and Iris, and Clark and Taylor, were going to do it. It is Clark that says, I can't imagine not being in a relationship, when they were headed to the snowmobiles. Also, we watched her very quickly. I think all of filming was like, again, a couple of months. They started in like October. And then they ended by like January, right? Mm-hmm. So it's a few months. We watched her go from like, I'm going to move to LA, potentially to like advance my career, to like, I'm just going to stay in North Carolina so I can be my family and like stick to my plans. And I think that a lot of that was influenced by conversations that happened off camera.
I agree.
I also want to know,
I agree,
for those of y'all that are in my comments that have been here since we've been watching the show, how many of y'all still believe that this was about them preparing to soft launch their breakup?
I don't think so. She's male centered. That comment rubbed me the wrong way. I think maybe a little sprinkle of, if we break up, y'all know why. Like how we say women that are in those horrible relationships that go on those housewife shows want people to see it, so it gives them a reason, because they get the support from the viewers that have, an outside looking in vantage point. And so she, let me let the world know this so I can see all the fodder online encouraging me to, do my big one instead of following behind this man. So maybe, I don't know. I just feel like she wants to be in a relationship with that fool.
I think they do. I think she does too.
Can I add something? And Tina, can I get my minute to get my stuff off? I was just, before I got the flag, I was
don't get flagged again.
Okay. Listen, I thought we were on demon time and I didn't know. Okay, that's my bad. Okay, I don't think it's a soft launch. I think that here's where I land. If that is what you want at the moment, then that's what you should have. If you are able to be influenced to change your position or not go after what you truly want, and choose like a safer option, then that's what you need. Some people are just not built the way to take risks, and that is okay. And good luck to you. I'm just not built that way. I've just never been built that way. What I wanted to say was, first and foremost, the I Pick Clark was so staged. I don't know if y'all talked about it before I got here, but that whole truck thing, girl, nobody's checking for you like that. That was purely production. Okay, and so I'm not convinced that you are stopped in the streets often, or that your back can be turned, and all of a sudden I pick Clark, and she's like, "How do you know, girl? Bye. We're not doing that. We're just not doing that."
I mean, for one, it might have been the cameras. It could have been the cameras that are following you all around that could have given
That's
anyway.
that part.
But still, who would think it was just them like that? Y'all know that Lodge.
Yeah,
Did anybody notice that Lodge is where they did one of the trips on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? I noticed it instantly.
yeah.
So it could have been
And
anybody on
that's what I'm
Peacock.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been watching reality TV too long to understand what is a, production staged thing, and that was staged. I didn't even want to harp on it. I didn't even think it was a big thing. But yeah, it's not like you're our fave, you know. But what I really wanted to talk about, I wanted to get through the characters, like, you all probably have talked about, before I got in here and before I got, the flag. I am having a problem with, I never thought I would say this, and I don't even know if I should share this, but I have found myself watching through this and realizing the person that I thought would be the most the least problematic was the person I didn't expect. I didn't expect a person, like, you know what I mean? Like, when you go into a show, you have people that you're rooting for, and that, that they're already problematic. I don't want to say I'm not going to say a declarative statement on who that I think this is right. But based on what I've seen so far, I think the least problematic person for me coming off of the show might be Brian. It might be Brian, and Charlie, obviously Charlie. And that, but I only say Brian is because the only thing that I know about him, or why I didn't necessarily like him, is because of the blatant, you know, grab for an opportunity, clout grab, by being with Amaya and winning the show. That was very obvious to me. But outside of the villa, I have not seen him show up very problematically. Did I miscalculate that?
I don't think
I'm
people
asking.
care enough about Brian to really check in on him. I think for the
But
most
what I'm
part, he's
Yeah,
been
but
like,
what I'm saying is, like, we can tie back to a Grayson and an Austin, and some of these other cast of characters that have ties for having very problematic behaviors off the show.
He knows how to behave when he's trying to clear his name. I still don't see it for the Rolex scammer like that.
Right,
I
but
think
that's
that
what I'm
I think
saying.
what it
That
is
is
that
why
he
I did
was.
not like him, because of him using the platform, and at the same time, he don't have racist allegations against him.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
he's. I
You know what I
mean,
mean? Like, it's hard for me to root for Bella. I get it. She said what she said, and it needed to be said. Yeah, Brian may be a scammer,
he wants to be famous, I think.
but what
Let me
what
say,
I'm saying is that it's not like it. these other people, in my opinion, have
Worse.
yes, worse. Yeah,
So coming back home said what I was gonna say is like they're all scammers, right? They're all there for clout and to win money. Olandria is the only person that I know that has said it directly. Like I was there because like I knew my face needed to be out there. Like baby, I'm destined for more than fucking selling elevators. Like she has been honest about that. Like yes, obviously she wanted love too, but like they were all there for that.
facts.
Period. Full fucking stop. Right? Period. Full. You don't go on reality TV if you don't want some level of even just money attached to like that level of visibility. Like you want to be visible in some way. Period. Full stop. So they're all looking for clout. I think it has to do with like, how do you move? What does your integrity look like though in pursuing that visibility?
Exactly.
Are you a person that will scheme and connive and be harmful and all the things in order to get that visibility? Or does your authenticity and your ingratiation to us as a public gain you that visibility? And that I think is the difference between some of the Islanders, right? Is that some of them, we could tell that you were playing into a role and that did not feel good or sit well with viewers, right? I think that to your point, I haven't heard anything about Brian, like having weirdo allegations. I haven't heard anything about it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, just means I haven't heard anything about it. I think that the majority of his ickiness for me has to do with like him acting just like a bad partner. As far as like on the show, y'all, I actually don't really give a fuck about the club scene. I know that's crazy. I know. But like it was so obvious to me that he didn't actually give a fuck about Amaya like that for real. And I didn't really care for that. I would have appreciated, again, just like more authenticity, right? I would have appreciated him being like, girl, let's get to the end together. Like, you know, we cool, we friends. I got your back, you got my back. Like, let's just ride. Like, I could have got behind that more than y'all acting like, oh, I'm just so into you. And like that was just, but I do think that a lot of that was Amaya driven.
That's what
and
I'm
I don't think she
saying.
gets enough smoke for that either.
That's what I'm saying, Tina. Because what I have witnessed for Brian outside of the show is that he did go quiet. And that is a very good indication that you are looking for a different way. And when he did come back on, his main focus was not about relationships, it was about mental health and what he's gone through and what he's learned. And I honestly, what made it worth it for me was to see from this whole entire, situation about Brian and Amaya, is the fact that he teared up when he talked about his mom saying, "You have changed. You have." Because what I do know about Brian is that he has been in therapy. What happened after, after the show and in between the reunion and after that for a few months, really took weight. And I'm not here caping necessarily for his bad behavior and being a scammer. But what I'm saying is like, if I'm looking and seeing someone have a initial change or working on change, I am going to support that.
So I want to say this to somebody mentioned it or got at it in the comments, right? If it had been any other girl, we wouldn't even be having this conversation likely. Listen, Shelly and Ace, whatever people want to say about them, Shelly made that announcement and quietly and quickly just moved on with her life. And that was it. If it had been Shelly, if it had been Olandria, if it had been, I'm trying to think who else was on that damn show, y'all. I'm sorry.
Honda.
But like,
I don't know where you're going, but I just named the most popular people.
Yeah, like, yeah.
So I think, because it was Amaya or okay, Coco, child, I'm like, who else was there?
Are you talking about dark skinned
Coco.
black girls?
No, I'm getting at personality.
Okay.
Dark skin, please. Dark skin. If it had been Clark, damn y'all, it might have just been the black girls. If it had been one of them, I don't think we'd be having this conversation, right? Because
About Brian?
Amaya, about Brian. I'm going to
Okay.
explain why. Because Amaya, I think the same would be true for Iris based on what we've seen with Pepe. I think that we definitely would have seen it with Honda based on what we saw with both Chris and Jeremiah. They make themselves the victim in the ending of their relationship rather than the relationship just ending and moving on and letting that be whatever the fuck it was and moving on. They have chosen to victimize themselves in relationship to their partner because they think that that is what is going to gain them a favor with the larger public. And so because it was Amaya, if they had just broken up, I don't think we'd be having this conversation about this man in this way, right?
think
He
it's
would not
happened-
have been demonized as much publicly as he was.
And
Do you think it was because they
Like,
also
I have an
won
unpopular
the show?
take, though.
I think it was because
No,
they
I-
won.
I
That's
think
a
it's because
I
factor.
don't actually I don't actually think it's because, personally, I don't think it's because they won the show, because I think that nobody was actually checking for them, if I'm honest, okay? If I'm honest, I don't think that people were checking for them, even though they were the winners. Everybody was checking for Nick and Alandria. Let's just keep it a bean. Let's just keep it a bean. Everybody was checking for Nick and Alandria. That is who had the public's attention. So they still could have quietly broken up. You know what I mean? Like they could have quietly broken up and moved on.
and
I'm never going to forget, and then coming back home, I'm gonna let you go. I'm never going to forget that her original post said all of what she said
she
about the breakup
changed it.
and don't throw any hate his way. And then another post came up without that last sentence. I'm never going to forget that.
But
Tina,
when I
I
say
wasn't
because they
quite
won,
done.
okay, can I ask this real quick? Because they won, I feel like that's the reason Peacock platformed them to discuss it. Like they were the winners of the show and they couldn't even last 2 days after the reunion. So it's like, y'all owe us something on Behind the Village.
They were
Y'all gotta
broken-
bring
they were broken
something
up
because
at that reunion.
I guess they couldn't pimp out the relationship after the show had been done.
But that's
So
what.
I think that I do believe that Peacock wanted them to give them something. What I'm saying is I don't think that other girls would have handled it in the same way, because we could have watched them have those conversations and it could have been mature and it could have been cordial and it could have been empathy on both sides. It could have been accountability on both sides, right? Because they keep saying in the comments, and I'm going to say it out loud, when they sat and had that conversation, and he said it in his confessional, like, we were literally arguing the day before she wanted me to go meet her dad. And I'm telling her, Amaya, we're not happy. We could have watched them have a really raw, authentic, real conversation without her being like, and when I flip my hair, you need to be that far away from me. Like, it didn't have to be that. It's only that because that's how she chooses to move. And I think that is why people are experiencing him in the way they're experiencing him. Because we still could have gotten a story about them without it being what it has been.
Tina, when you said when she went and changed that statement, I immediately remember when she was in that fucking TMC comment. I'm so sorry. And she said, "How could you, Brian?" I said, "Please." That kind of drama. I said, "Come on, guys. That is like TV made type of drama." And of course, it's things that I can say about Brian because it's there. But Brian was no worse. And that's always what bothered me about how people were coming after Brian, because people had infantilized Amaya. Like, whether people want to talk about that or not, they treated her like she was literally an infant. Like she needed to be protected like a baby, which it was creepy. It felt weird. It felt incestuous. The population as a whole creeped me out with that, because multiple men left that island talking about how she had talked to them in a manner that was degrading, and how that somehow kept getting overlooked. And watching her switch up her personalities on the show was like watching like the different moon phases, because I was like, like this is what you're getting a glimpse of, how these men were talking about how she was behaving on that island, that you did not get to have, because they were not showing that to us as the viewers during season 7. And so it really gives you an idea that you can see Brian's not in the right, but at the same time, the confusion around things, because I feel like, to be honest, I feel like very soon after they left the island, they were talking about moving towards maybe friendship. I really have this feeling, and I feel like Brian was behaving in a way that was conducive to what they had set as boundaries. And so when he kept getting slapped and in trouble, he was literally confused. I always felt like he was confused, like, why am I in trouble? Like, how did I get in this? Because I felt like the messaging that was coming from Amaya was only responding to the public outrage. But that's why I was like, what becomes difficult about the scamming and the influencing is really understanding how to navigate your fame in a way that's healthy for another person when you're coming off that island, and really understanding that it is such a smoother transition for you both to go and leave your separate ways cordially, and really make it known to the public like that we are friends. You might see us together, but we are friends. It's easier to do that. And then if you decide to date later, than to act as if you're in love, you're having the romance of a lifetime, and this is the love of my life, and I'll never date anyone. That's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And because they set that precedence, then when something falls apart, the public responds in a very extreme, dramatic way. And you're very correct in the fact that if he was with someone else, it would not have been this drama of a breakup, not just because the women themselves they just handle breakups differently, as you can see even with Grayson, like even with Bella, all of these different women, you can see they handle these things differently. But in addition to the fact that Amaya's like real rise to the very top is a lot based on drama and the conflict of the drama that they've created amongst all of these different women who were the season's top women. And so it feeds into that, and it feeds something inside of her, and she loves to participate in it. And even when we saw the conversation that happened tonight, what are you talking about? Hannah and Iris is the nicest people. You're lying to me. Like you just watch Hannah annihilate Grayson for no reason in front of everyone. And you're telling me that's nice? You know that's not nice. You know nice nasty, and you know when someone's being deliberately nasty. And the way that Grayson doesn't have to be people's favorite person, and I get it. And I like to believe that, like, okay, we all mature at 25, but it's unrealistic for people to believe that it doesn't hit something traumatic inside of you when you start experiencing those childhood politics of being iced out. Like, especially when it's not something you've experienced in a while, or it caused you a lot of trauma as a child. People are human. They are going to have traumatic responses. She might be having PTSD that we just don't know. And even with Bella wanting that whole family-like thing, I said, girl, that is PTSD, sweetie. That therapist appointment is going to hit different for you when you have that revelation. But when she sat in Iris' face and asked Iris to tell her the truth, and Iris couldn't tell her that truth, and Iris was trying to force, I was like, Bella, Grayson, and I was like, those two, I said, they're watching in real time that maturity that you have to develop almost instantaneously when you're dealing with people who are absolutely making sure that you do not feel like you are equal to them. Because beyond the meanness we watched for the last 8 episodes, we watch people be cruel. Like, at the end of the day, people don't sometimes want to reduce it down. We watch Iris and Hannah be intentionally cruel, whether there's their own things they have with themselves, whether because of how situations played out, but the cruelty they exhibit towards the women and intentionally really didn't give it to the men, because even though they didn't like them, they didn't like Brian and Chris, they didn't do things to intentionally antagonize Brian and Chris. Brian and Chris so happened to hear Hannah say that. Hannah would have never said that to Brian and Chris's face. it's just those types of things that's constantly going on and sitting around. People know what they're doing, but because like people keep making it seem like Amaya isn't as doesn't have play into that drama as much as Hannah and Iris and them. When in fact she does it the most. Like and she incites it. And it's very interesting watching it because Nikki's right. Brian kind of snuck away. Like I said, he snuck away. He snuck up in that piece and got a little redemption arc because he was able to see that, like, you know what? I need to stand, like, at the end of all of this, I do actually need to say something because you're not going to keep making yourself to be the victim to me. Like, you're not going to do that. Like, cause you know what you're doing. Because if he would have just accepted that and he would have gaslight himself, the public, he would have like, I know he was having this feeling like the public about to come at me again. I need to dead this right now. And I'm proud of him for doing that because it's like, no, you're not going to do that. And I feel like everybody is watching their public persona very carefully, but it comes a time where you have to be like, no, I got to stand up for myself. And I feel like these last 2 episodes were essentially all the outcasts finally saying something that about the person who was hurting them, who has the most clout, who has the most access to influence, like, and saying like, enough's enough. You're not going to keep like treating me like essentially like you're not going to keep bullying me. Like, because at the end of the day, something that people don't want to say, Amaya, Hannah, Jerry, Iris, TJ, y'all bullies. That's all I say.
I love that. Here's the thing. I said to y'all when we found out the cast and we started talking about the show, I said that I hoped that Brian did have an opportunity to have his side heard because I was certain, based on who I perceived Amaya to be, based on the show, that we weren't getting the full story, right? If nothing else, we only had one side of it, right? And I said to y'all that I thought that what was going to happen was that Amaya was going to be seen for who she was because there wasn't going to be anybody to provide cover the way that there was in the villa, right? And so I agree with you all, but I am happy that, this particular group of people ended up together because I do think that it was important for some parts of the storytelling, some parts of the narrative, right? And so whatever people then do with that, right? Like you could still put however you feel about people. You don't got to fuck with them, whatever. I'm not saying that I don't actually give a fuck, right? But I think it gives you more data and it gives you more information and allows you to make decisions, right? And it could be I'm rocking with Amaya Lynn because she rocking with me, like it could be that, right? Or it could be like, ooh, I don't actually like that. And maybe I don't connect and I don't find her as relatable, but now you actually have that information. Same for Jerry. I feel like now you all get to see a different side of him that you maybe were not able to see before. And do with that what you will, right? Because to be frank, right, for every fan they lose, they're going to gain a fan, right? There are going to be people that hop on simply because they perceive you as maybe like I said about Pepe, right? There are a bunch of people that were like, oh, we're not fucking with you because you said all lives matter. And there are a bunch of people that are like, yes, King, that's how we feel. Stand on business. Don't be afraid to share your values. Like, right? Like there are also going to be people that like hop on the train. But I do like that people are now having to see people fully and completely. And not that it's like a whole version of who they are because it is still just snippets of what we're seeing on TV, but you've experienced one portion of them and now you're seeing another portion of them. That's probably a more well-rounded picture than what you were getting just from the villa and the people that like couldn't see underneath it.
Can I also say something that stood out to me also with TJ and Iris?
Yes.
I found it interesting. During that conversation that Nick and TJ were having, he was asking Nick, like, how do you deal with long distance and blah, 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 being in the public eye? And Nick was like, you only see 10% of what me and Alandria are. Like, that's all you're going to get. And TJ was like, oh, well, we do everything online. Like, the public knows all of our relationship, ins and out of our relationship. And then you flash back or forward, wherever the scene was. It just, when he and Iris were in bed talking, and she's like, oh, thank you so much for being here for me. I love you. And I didn't think much of it. I was like, okay, whatever. And then he was like, oh, I love you back. And she's like, oh my God, TJ, that's the first time we said it to each other. And I sat up in my bed and I was like, wait a second. So you mean to tell me that all of your first in this relationship are on camera? All of them. You have no private moments in your relationship. You came online, you asked her to be your girlfriend on camera. Now you're saying I love you on camera. She's meeting your mom on first time on camera. And I'm just like, this is odd. I mean, yes, they're a PR couple, but I'm just kind of like, we're all looking at this, right? Like when we're talking about like, I may not like Taylor and Clark. I have a lot of things to say, but I can genuinely say the two couples I think, for good or bad, truly care for each other are Nick and Alandria and Taylor and Clark. Whether I don't like Taylor Clark at all. But for something about this whole thing about like all the first being on camera and being like, oh, we post everything online. I'm like, okay. But see, this is why you also needed to be exposed, right? Because I think you guys were getting away with a lot. Like, they were doing stuff on camera for like TikToks, and people thought like, this is cute, this is genuine. And then you see the show and you're like, oh no, this is all for the show. Every moment that we saw of their relationship online was filmed for the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, this is just odd. And then also, yeah, I agree. I think this cast was split up into Team A and Team B. And Team B walked in kind of just hoping that people would see a little bit more of them and understand their story a little bit more, obviously for clout. But Team A walked in trying to control the narrative and basically trying to one up the couple that was outside. And all of them failed miserably. All of them. Because you wanted to be a star when that actually was never your role. On Love Island, none of you were stars. Apart from Amaya, but Amaya was a star because she acted out of her ass and stupid and people thought that was funny. But when you strip away the stars of the show, for better or for worse, all of you look rather pathetic. Absolutely all of you. You all come off as bullies. You all come off pathetic. And now we're watching you all scramble and you look sad. And the winners of the show are Team B. The winners of the show are Charlie, Beldash. And again, they're not innocent in all this. Like, I think Grayson is a little weird. I think Beldash needs to stop with that. Kumbaya, though, I think producers were pushing her a little bit. But all of them came out the winners because they just looked normal. Like, when Beldasha really had to tell Iris, we're not the same people because I'm kind. As simple as that. Whatever you think about Beldasha, she just said it plainly. I'm a nicer person than you. And that's what it all boils down to. Like, time after time, we've seen reality TV, whether you're on there for clout, people go for what they feel and see as authentic. And none of those Team A people were.
I'm going to say even Beldasha using the word kind and not nice is relevant to me because I talk to you all a lot about how I'm kind, but I'm not nice.
As a New Yorker,
nice is a performance.
Yeah. As
right?
a New Yorker, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, like nice is I'm performing for you, right? Whereas kindness is different than that. I'm evaluating your behavior. I am doing my best to try to see all the sides of the situation maybe, but I absolutely am using that data to inform how I engage with you, right? Nike said it in the comments, right? What I also saw that was different is like the way that Black women do sisterhood and girlhood is just so different than the way that white women do girlhood and womanhood, right? Like, I feel like that was explicit because this idea that you can only be a true friend to me. You're only in real relationship with me if you don't question anything, if you don't hold me accountable, if you don't ever challenge me, you only just agree with me and say, yes, queen, girl, boss it up. Yes, girl. Like, that is the only way to be in real and right relationship with you. That's weird. And we just do not function that way generally. you will see Black women online be like, sis, in love, take this off the internet. Or like, we will correct each other even in public sometimes out of a place of like love and care and concern, and like, you know, pull each other's coattails. And that, it was just so different than what we saw amongst those girls
Can I add?
this
Can I add
season.
something next?
I'm gonna bring K Boogie up and let K Boogie share real quick, because K Boogie is on their lunch break. So
Okay.
I want K Boogie to give your thoughts before you have to get back off, friend.
Yo, I'm going into an elevator, so I might disconnect. Give me a second.
Okay. Nikki, you want to get it off real quick?
This will be the last thing I say, and I'm gonna go right now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, to add on to Danny, is that what is what this is exposing about Maya is that those who are clocking to Maya in the villa are now seeing her for who she is. She's the same person. Nothing's different. Nothing's changed. Is that people were so against Nick and Alandria and the way the show was formatted that, you know, for Amaya and Brian to actually win, or actually Amaya, there was nothing new under the sun when it came to her. I always called her Houdini Light, and that's exactly how she showed up. So, other than that, not a surprise in her behavior at all. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about, because I think everybody said it before, and I'm going to leave it at that, is that whole Chris and Coco thing. When Chris said that she always wants to talk off camera, and he's like, do it on, and he was talking as if, like, if you're going to get your shit off, then like do it on the camera without clocking. This is why I don't think Chris wants a Black woman as much as he loves his Black mama, is because a lot of times, most of the time, Black women across all diasporas know that we don't air our dirty laundry in public because we don't want to embarrass another Black person. And that was really telling to me tonight, is that he couldn't even clock. The reason why I want to talk to you, Negro, off camera is because of how you're behaving when it comes to me on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was very telling, because I'm more interested in that than I am about all this other petty shit. Because the fact that he came in and said, watch my board, bruh. Excuse me? That's why she was just like, what, nigga? What? That was
That's a good
absolutely
point.
right. That was absolutely the right response. So I am just like, if I'm watching the show and if I have come out learning something, this is the conversation I want to have going forward, not about this. Because I'm sorry you didn't clock Iris. I'm sorry you didn't clock Amaya. I'm sorry you didn't clock Hannah, because that was weird behavior at the show, how she treated, at the reunion, how she treated Charlie. I know all of this. So it's uninteresting to me at this point to relitigate who these people were when I've always seen it from the beginning. And no shade on anybody, because everybody learns in their own time. Jerry, if you will, let the real Jerry stand up. Because honestly, that is a feeling that I got when I was in Villa. I was like, this man, I hated to agree with that Labubu, but this man is putting on a persona that he's such this good guy and like stuff like this. But we saw his true self, and you can't come back from there. There's no amount of lies you can do. There's no amount of explanation you can say. We saw it in live 4K, and you cannot blame it on the editing, because what I've seen unedited is enough for me to understand who the fuck you are. So, good night.
Good night, Nikki. Love you, girl.
Good night,
Okay, K
Nikki.
Boogie, give me your thoughts, my love.
Okay, I'm so excited to be here. It's been a short time since we last saw each other. Um, my thoughts are really being reiterated throughout this whole thing, but I wanted to say it myself, okay? I haven't seen the second episode. I think I'm at the part where Bella, Coco, and Grayson are like talking after that charades game or whatever they were playing. Listen, Irish Spring, come to the front, baby. Please close those lip filler lips. You're getting on my nerves. What do you mean? What do you mean? We're adults. We don't have to talk or hang out. You don't talk to her ever or hang out ever, but she's still supposed to be friends and loyal to you. How does that make sense? Number one. Thank you. Um, and then Bella was making like decent points. She's like, I mean, you're not showing me anything either. Also, I can be neutral in any situation that I want to be. So who are you and why are you speaking to me this way? Irish, she's just always gonna stand behind lip filler number 2. Amaya. I don't like you. I've never liked you. I wish people never voted for you. You don't deserve the spotlight that you have, and it's gonna fade eventually. And I'm so excited when it does. Downfall for everyone. Um, yeah, that's it, honestly. I'm talking to someone, I'm sorry.
Tina, I want to
Okay.
say this. I'm sorry.
Go
I
ahead. Coming
do.
back home.
Um, I feel like we have not talked about this, but Bella giving that 20K for Pineapple Under the Sea. I'm gonna have to think
I
about
was
this
gonna
for
bring
some
it up.
time. I said, because she would have to see about me. I'm gonna act real New York. I might be from Hawaii. I would have got up. I would have to stand up. I'm sorry, 20K. I'm focused. That's all I want to say.
I want to say this from someone at someone that just said in the comments. Sorry, Aaliyah. You just said on the flip side, why do they feel like why do Bella and Grayson act like they are owed their friendship? Here's the thing. Maybe I'm just old. I can own that. Okay. I think that they're using the word friend too loosely, but let's be fucking honest. Even when you're not someone's friend, you don't know how to just be a kind and cordial human being. I may not kick it with you. We may not be going to grab lunch. We may not be getting matcha. I don't drink that shit, but they do, right? We may not be doing none of that shit. But when we're in the same environment together, I could be like, hey girl, and like we can have a good time together because you've not done anything to actually harm me. But they can't give her that because they feel like, and Hannah just falling behind Iris, if we're being honest, right? They feel like the fact that you decided that you wanted to hear from Pepe and form your own opinion means that you're not a good friend. You're not a girl's girl. You should just be doing whatever I say. There's not two sides to the story. Just believe me. That's weird, actually.
It's scary.
Like, I think it's scary and it's weird. Like you don't have to be friends. You don't. But y'all can actually be grown and know how to all be in the fucking room together and have a good time and have fun. And Eugenie, I don't know. And because like, and we should be able to like have fun and just like be around each other. And then bitch, I may not ever see you again until another group activity, but I can still have fun and be around you and not be weird to you while you're here.
Well, Tina,
you see what I'm saying?
Tina, you forget it's an adult friendship.
Oh my gosh.
It's an adult friendship. Like, have you not heard of those? Like, adult friendships move that way. Oh my God.
Like, please.
Can I
Please.
say
And we
something about
did,
that?
Eugenie. Go ahead.
Okay, so that whole thing, first of all, let me say, Amaya is definitely not the bitch I would leave 20 grand on the table for. Like, are we, Bella, what the fuck was that about? You can't want friends that bad. Like, and that made my mind click. I'm like, if Bella and Brian getting $20,000 deals,
Exactly.
What my girl? Anyway, I ain't trying to count her pockets, but I know she caked up because Bella was there for 2 seconds, and you passing up 20 grand, and you live in LA for Amaya,
And
who is
she
a half-ass
could pass it
friend.
up. That was a
Also,
little. I said, wait.
that's what I'm like. It's and I don't even see. I mean, I don't follow her, but I don't see Bella popping like that. But like that just tells you the
What are we?
impact that show has. So I want to say this about just being kindness. Okay, Boogie.
I got it.
Okay. I just want to say this about kindness and being adults. Let's not act like y'all are not a fucking ensemble cast. Everybody that was selected need to be a part of the program for this to be successful, and different personality types and the conversations and the issues to happen. Everybody's acting like they've never had friendships in mixed company, from Amaya acting like can't nobody do nothing because I have a boyfriend. Iris echoing some of the same nonsense with he's my boyfriend. It's like this is a mixed friend group. Like, let's just be cool. Like, nobody trying to take your man, nobody wants your man. Please. But the fact that you feel like her and Hannah, well, we live 5 minutes away from each other, so we're real friends and we do this and we do that. Okay. But this is we at work. Bitch, we're co-workers. Let's at least be cordial and nice to each other. Nobody is expecting y'all to be BFFs, but y'all are truly trying to ice these girls out. And I think with Grayson, she did have something going on with TJ, and that's why she's mad. She also was connected to Pepe in the villa, so that gives her, Iris and Hannah, a reason to be mad. With Bella, the fact that she just heard Pepe out is like the biggest sin on earth for Iris or whatever. And it's just weird because Bella, I believe she explained like, well, I'm just kind of coming around everybody, so basically, bitch, production paired me up with him to have a conversation. Stop playing dumb. Like, I'm not Pepe's best friend. I just heard both sides of the story. And what I don't owe you is blind loyalty. If we are going on a trip and I come in a room being nice and cordial and saying, hey, hi, reach for a hug, and you real standoffish and y'all powwow in these little circles like we dumb, and the fact that I overheard you talking shit, they did not mean that about Brian and Chris. They said that because they got caught. And I don't like that. And then when they were in the car and Jeremiah said, well, they were telling everybody what Bella said, and Jeremiah was like, oh yeah, like just dismissive of what Bella said.
Yes.
But when the guys were kind of saying like, we just walked downstairs, and they like, well, we don't really fuck with Brian and Chris, and they were like, what we even do to them? He understood when they said, and Charlie had to go into further
He said that was kind of
detail.
aggressive. That
Yeah.
was kind of aggressive. Yeah.
So it's like, what was it when it was Bella's feelings? Like, it's just weird. It's mean for no reason. It's like Clark and Coco are like, hey, but they're black women, so they know like, hey, we not about to be fighting on camera. We won't fuck with each other, but you stay over there, I'll stay over here. We keep our distance. It is what it is. The opposite is them just being mean and trying to ice these girls out for no reason. Why wasn't it an issue when Hannah sat down and had that awkward ass conversation one-on-one with Brian? Did Amaya ask her, did she leave with her kitty cat like she did with Bella? No. So it's just so contradictory in every scenario with those Jeremiah, Iris, Hannah, TJ, when they're involved, and Amaya, when they're involved with anybody else on the cast.
Can I just say, and to your point, they are black girls, right? But like we're literally watching Coco and Clark, and I would say that Coco and Clark have more of a reason to have beef because Coco pretty much came for Clark in the media and kikied with girls, right? About like they're still able to be in the rooms and be cordial and work. They're not besties, but they can all be in the same space together and have a good time. And I hate to bring them up because I don't like to bring them up in comparison to these people, right? But I want us to also think back to when the internet streets went wild about Olandria and Michelle being at that event together and hugging. because they're at work, and it's no reason why I can't be cordial to you, even if we're not besties, even if we're not friends. Like, there's no reason why I can't just be like, hey girl. Like, there's no reason why.
Yeah, because it's emotional intelligence. Like, let's tap into that.
And you
And I'm not
remember
even
when Coco said it would be ghetto if her and Clark were doing all that back and forth on TV. So they, black women have an awareness, like, and we let people know, if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you, but I'm grown. You're not gonna make me mess up my check. And this, we had everybody. I told y'all, everybody had the same storylines. Everybody mad about a damn podcast. Everybody got some issue with an ex or a connection, and everybody want to throw their man up in somebody's face. And then half of the house mean girls, and the other half are not. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
And
I
Hannah
want
was
I
acting
want
like she.
sorry, I
Oh,
want you to give me your thoughts. I want to say too that if you haven't been watching the streets, Pepe has been vindicated, right? Because his coach came out and it happened while he was in the villa, talked about the gym that he co-owns and the youth program. There have been, the videos have recirculated of the teachers at the school that he was running the after school program at, talking about watching him fall in. So like, those videos have resurfaced to say, actually, this thing is a thing. But I want to name something that I don't remember what creator I heard say this, but I want to name that it's not my original thought. But like, someone was talking about how they want Pepe to pop off. Oh, I want him to check them. I want him to do that. But you also have to think about the line of business that he is in. If this man is working with children, he needs to engage in a certain type of way. He cannot just pop off, right? He cannot just go at these women, maybe in the way that he even wants to, right? He can do his best to clear his name. He can do his best to like speak his piece, but he cannot show out, right? He actually does have to consider the things that he potentially might lose. And so I think I thought it was a really good point, and I wanted to highlight it. I don't remember who said it, but I thought it was a great point. Okay, my love, welcome up. Please give me your thoughts.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Can I just say, like, Beyond the Villa is the karma I needed. I needed this karma so dang bad. Like, it just further exposed like what we already knew, watching these people like play out. They're just not even play, because this is truly who they are authentically, and like just watching them navigate the unnecessary, like the Botox brigade and their clicky ways. It just did not make sense to me. You had just so many, and I think especially with the Botox brigade, like specifically Iris and Hannah, from the first episode, I was watching their like microaggressions and their just off-putting like actions towards not only Grayson and Bella, but even at some point Coco. And I was like, is it me, or is like no one noticing that? Like the side comments, the disbelief that like someone could possibly be wearing the same outfit, or it was just really strange. And I was like, okay, these girls are mean girls for whatever reason. It then occurred to me by the like end of this episode, especially for like Grayson, that it was coming from a place of Hannah still clearly upset that Pepe stayed and tried to figure out something with Grayson. And then I don't know what Iris got going on, but she's clearly not happy in that relationship. She's settling, whatever that looks like. So it was weird. But then even with the Bella situation and this loyalty that they're asking for, even Amaya, which by the way, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but these last 2 episodes look like Amaya was taking some vitamins. She seemed very erratic, but anywho's. Yeah, like this blind loyalty made no sense, especially given that Bella was explaining like, because she is a friend to all, which is not necessarily a good thing, like her being in these spaces with all of them when these dramas are happening does allow her to hear other people's side. It doesn't necessarily mean that she's actually friends with them or loyal to them, but it's like knowing before the filming of the show, when they all came out, they were hanging out together. They were at several events that were not sponsored related. And for them to now just turn around and act like that friendship meant nothing is kind of weird. But like, it's fine. If you want to move on because of the men in your lives or the ex men in your lives, that's perfectly fine. But approach it in a way that is sensible and sensitive. And given that, like, she has tried to speak with you and you're icing her out, it just doesn't make sense. Then you have Jeremiah. Jeremiah is what I call a technicality type of nigga. Everything's based on a technicality, right? He loves to define words so that he can make sure you know he is not that word you have defined him as, despite the fact that he very much so is. You know, and watching it play out with Andreina is so funny because the fact that the camera's captured, like, I'm pretty sure at this point, it's very obvious production found these people hilarious. Absolutely found them hilarious and wanted in a way to just play in their faces because they live in a diluted bubble of privilege and entitlement. And watching like production even call him out by showcasing the way he was flirting with her, and then like TJ being like, hey, you've been caught on all angles, and then her finally having the courage to like have that, you know, conversation, and he tries to like, he gets annoyed in a way and tries to play it off like, shake my hand, we're cool then, it's fine, it's whatever. It's so toxic. And it's like, at the end of all of this, I was like, oh my gosh, not y'all having me understand where like Honda was coming from. Like, ew, I never wanted to be there. I don't know why I'm here. Why are you making me understand where she's coming from? You know, it's terrible. And I'm glad that it showcased who they are because a lot of what they kept saying, especially these last 2 episodes, they kept pushing on the word narrative. And I'm like, y'all are so desperate for the validation of the public perception, and that is why you guys will never be authentic, and we can sniff it from a mile away. But yeah, that's it.
Okay, y'all, great points. My panelists always have great points, even when y'all don't like them. I will say this though about Amaya Lynn. I felt like she was erratic in the villa too. Like, there were moments I would never diagnose anyone, y'all. I would never diagnose anyone. That's why somebody kept asking me about like something that they thought about Iris's behavior. I just didn't even acknowledge it because I'm never going to diagnose anybody. But there were moments where I was curious, like, does she take medicine and she didn't bring it with her? Because like, what's happening? Like, it was giving, there were lots of moments in the bill where I was like, what is happening? So it kind of felt like that to me again, tonight. So I don't know if she was skiing in the villa too. I don't know what customs lets for shit. I ain't never been to Fiji, okay? But it was also giving something the fuck was going on when she was in the villa too. Like, if you watched her. Okay?
True. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Y'all don't think that's her normal personality, with or without a prescription?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was wondering, that was my curiosity, was like, is she someone that would take medicine to be less like that, and she didn't like have it on her? You know what I'm saying? If you picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. I feel like she strikes me as someone who, because medication may dull that, she would avoid the medication. Like, because I can't say enough about how she feeds off of drama. Now, somebody in the comments earlier talked about zodiacs. I don't talk about zodiacs too much, but she's a Scorpio. I'm a Taurus. My birthday's tomorrow. One thing I know is my sister's sign.
Happy early birthday!
Thank you,
Happy
everybody.
birthday.
Thank you. I know a Scorpio. I've been raised around them, and it's something that ignites in them with that drama. And especially in an area of like confusion where you're like, wait, did this just, like, the amount of like, she enjoys it. She enjoys that chaos. And so if it was something to dull it, like a medication, I feel like she would resist that because she would feel like she didn't feel like herself, which is like your most dramatic, most problematic self shouldn't feel like yourself. Like you don't, but she feeds off that energy. Like how you said, Tina, where she going to the girls and being like, because you couldn't even get up. You know, I hate the way she talk. I ain't gonna hold you. I be agitated. I be overly. I be having to calm myself down. But like then going to the middle when she started crying in front of TJ because TJ was making sense. I said, "This is Iris 2.0 right now." That pissed me clean off because I said, "This is too much." Like. Because how is this invited? Like, what is this invoking so many emotions? And how are you going to talk about boundaries? All I've seen you do is change boundaries from when you was on that season to the public. You flip the script about a new boundary is set all the time.
Yep.
Like you go through boundaries. I haven't seen someone have more boundaries. I say it's boundaries all over the place. But the only time a boundary. Like the only time a boundary is a problem is when you want to have a dramatic experience with someone. Like when they kept going back and panning back to her hugging him in Palm Springs. If you notice Brian's body language, Brian wasn't even the one who really leaned fully in for that hug. Like he was looking like, are we okay? And she kind of was like giving him the signs like, oh, we cool, everything's cool. It's weird to go from one of these events are all within a couple months to sit there and be like, okay, we now not on no basis no more. Now you chopped, you unk the way, you know, white people use it, uncool. Like you're no longer like, I take back what I said. I take back that civil conversation we had. I snatched that back and now we got a new set of parameters. How are you supposed to know that? And also something that has agitated me through all of these episodes, because Coco's the only person who be really wanting to talk off screen. The people who are the main culprits never want to just have a conversation, send a text message, have a phone conversation. All of these things, I'm like, y'all could have just got on the phone. That's like, you can chop it up on the phone like, hey, I feel this way about this situation.
Hold on, coming back home. Y'all. Let me be clear in my live. We gatekeep over here. If they don't know what unk means, you do not tell them in my comments, okay?
Oh,
if they don't know what it means, do not tell them. We gatekeep over here.
No.
Yes, it means uncool. All right, go ahead.
Uncool. It's uncool to you, okay, sweetie? And I was like, some of these things absolutely are conversations you could have on the phone real quick, or let's chop it up over coffee. Everybody keep like y'all, the main culprits, the main bullies kept waiting for the screen time. And I'm sorry, I'm not over here mocking Grayson's accent. That's another thing. How you gonna mock that girl's accent when you got that deep, terrible lisp? I'm sorry, I'm going there with her. And then go and ask that girl, is you cool? Like everybody acting as if she didn't essentially threaten Grayson. I'm trying to say Hannah was acting like she was on Bad Girls Club. I'm so serious. Hannah has spent 7 to 8 episodes. Her and Iris have been acting like they on Bad Girls Club. And I know for a fact, if those were brown or black women, like they had enough melanin for real, we be having a totally different conversation online because those were inciting. They were violent. That was so violent. Like, and the way everybody downplayed how violent that actually was, because it's actually extremely disrespectful to mock a Southern accent. And we know what that insinuates. It's a level of intelligence you're saying that Grayson doesn't have. It's lower class. You're calling her trailer park trash to her face. Then we'll ask her, is she cool? I was like, everybody better than me. Cause it would have.
Are you good?
Like,
and she recognized it backfired because Grayson didn't give her the energy. She was like, what are you talking about? Like she wanted some type of energy.
And the fact that Charlie explicitly said like that made it awkward. Like that, you know, like didn't let it slide.
Right.
Exactly.
Because
they hate to see Charlie coming. They hate to see Charlie. They hate
logical stuff. He makes logical points. Like
y'all are being when Charlie's at the event. It's because she knows she can't get away with that nasty behavior Charlie around. Because Jeremiah was trying. Jeremiah in the way. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Jerry in the way that he behaves when it comes to the girls, I said in the comments, white feminism is his form of feminism. He is going to whatever white woman that he has his allegiance to, that's who's important. That's who gets to have humanity, who gets to have the emotions and all of those things.
Yep.
And the fact that him and all of them crawling on the floor to listen to them like have a moment. I said, and who is the messiest person you know? It's a man. Because what are y'all
Man.
crawling on the floor?
Every
Why are y'all
single
crawling on the
man.
floor, on the steps,
Yeah, that
everybody
was.
being nosy, but you didn't come to like actually make sure that like everyone's okay.
Right.
And I was like, we all understand that something happened between Grace and TJ. But I think the larger thing is that Hannah has been so angry since she left that island. She like, when she was like, it's okay that you guys, no, I'm serious. That girl has been so angry since when I'm telling you, as soon as her foot touched the other side of that doorway out of the villa, she's not stopped being angry about that. And I was like, you're talking about anxiety. What I see from you is unadulterated rage. She wants to lash out at any and everybody. And
I
she
did her
wants to
dirty.
control. Yes. Like, and even if she perceives that they've done her dirty.
Yep.
And I was like, you're so angry. And when people are like, what is she so angry about? She feels so slighted on so many things, but them getting her out that villa, I'm serious. Like, she's not gotten over that. I know Jerry never got over it, but she really never got over it. And even with her being able to essentially rise up and get a successful influencer career outside of that, it does not matter. Like, she wants vengeance and she's willing to do anything to get her vengeance. And that's why she has been literally setting a fire to anyone who she feels like is in her path, because people are like, Hannah controls Iris. Like, people think Iris is controlling Hannah. First of all,
The
I
other way
don't
around.
think they're friends. They're not friends. And people
They
insinuating
are
that friends. I
not
said, they are not friends. This is white girl 101. Like, if
enemies.
you've
Yep.
never been friends with white women, I said, this is an alliance of pure hate. Like, they hate each other so bad, and they fuel each other's like neuroses, and they're spewing it out to people. And of course, it's backfiring now. But I'm like Tina said, it's going to be people who unfollow, it's going to be people who follow. But the major thing is that they are no longer able to hide behind the veneer of being these innocent, doughy-eyed white girls, which we knew that they weren't. But thank God they went on the show. I was like, I know people are like, this should have never happened. I'm like, no, this show actually needed to happen, because the way that these white women have been able to skip the Lou, and the black women have been painted the most evil, vile, villain, mean girls, when these were people on this island behaving like this, but it was not being shown. This was such a necessary thing to see, that it is more than one side of the story, and that you are seeing an hour a day. That production is slicing up for you to see. And it's really important, because we're going to season 8. Let's pray for all of our souls as we enter into this season of pure hell, that it's going to be these same biases and storylines, and having to show people this is what, like, you think that this is happening, but people are seeing things correctly. People are seeing relationship and dynamics that you may not be perceiving because you're biased. You don't want to see it. You don't want to see that the white girl, like when Iris says something to, that other girl about Alana kissing Nick. You don't want to see that kind of behavior is like, why'd you say that? Why would you do that? You don't want to see that about that person because you have a bias. And so I'm happy that we're entering into the sunsetting of season 7. That's hope. That's hope.
Yeah.
My cup,
Don't
of
bring that
course,
back
is
for
Megan
nothing.
Landry.
Nothing. I don't want to see that. I don't want. You know how they bring guests from the past season? I don't want any of them to be selected.
Y'all better skip back 2 seasons or 1 season.
Yeah, I
Y'all
don't
better
want
y'all better
any
go.
of them. They
Y'all better
probably
go
gonna try to
6
use
and up.
Amaya. Somebody said they might have
And
flew
I don't want to see
Jeremiah
Johnny
out.
on my
I
screen
don't
ever
want to see
again.
him.
That's a random, but I don't want to see Johnny no more on my screen either.
Listen,
Because he was in that
I will
party.
Next,
say,
Johnny.
I'm not going to name no names, but there are some people that I would be willing to see on like After Sun. like do little like hosting moments.
Oh, yeah,
They
yeah,
need
yeah.
to cancel
Yes,
after
that's cute.
Sun. Sally is horrible on there.
Yeah, she
She
gotta
has
go. She needs to
nothing
hang it up.
to add. She's
They
like,
need to void that contract.
Hang
give
it
us
up.
more show or give us like unseen bits, more unseen bits, because these goofy
Mhm.
little nothings that they like, Sally never has a real opinion, and I don't know if that's just her or by design of production, but it's bad. Like at least, I mean, they allow Mara to have a personality and she says how she really feels, but Sally is like, what? Why are you there?
Well,
Yeah.
Ariana won't be back, you guys. Y'all better say it in the comments because
What?
her contract is up. Her contract was up last season, is what I
She's not
heard.
Too
hosting.
bad.
Who they
I
gonna
think
get?
she
They
is
just did a
hosting.
commercial.
Yeah, she just did a commercial. I'm pretty sure she's hosting again.
She's hosting again.
You don't like her, Tina? I like her
Like,
though.
she
I
said,
liked her
I
better
thought
on
it was
season 6.
different.
She was barely there season 7.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, I like the
Mhm.
outfits they put her in.
She did that whole little goodbye, whatever, at the fucking reunion or whatever the fuck. Anyway, the girl, I thought she was gone, y'all.
No, she's
I
so
don't.
loud.
I'm gonna tell you what I didn't like. It's not that I just can't stand her, whatever. What I didn't like is when the whole heart rate challenge happened. I thought she handled it really poorly. I didn't like it. You're out in the public. You know what the public is saying. I felt like she could have chosen to approach that differently with her response because it made Shelly seem like Shelly was tripping and Shelly was not fucking tripping. Anybody with a brain, even one brain cell, knew that girl wasn't tripping. But she fed that shit. And then we all watched the actual video and were like, yeah, she wasn't fucking tripping. And so I did not like that because of the temperament of the audience at that time. I didn't like the way she chose to handle that question, and I had to be like, girl, that's weird.
Yeah. That
I'm not
fueled
fucking with
that
it.
fueled further discourse, and it was just unnecessary as a host of the show.
Agreed.
But
So
can I
that's why I was
also,
kind of hoping she wouldn't come.
yeah, but can I also just like add on to coming back home? I'm so glad you pointed out the things about like Iris and Hannah, especially like for one, Hannah being just still angry at everything that played out in the way that it did. And it showcased itself on this season of Beyond the Villa because she never let us forget that, you know, she had a boyfriend and a cat waiting at home for her. And she's just so happy regardless of what has happened because she has a boyfriend and cat waiting for her at home. It was like, oh, okay, it's very obvious that you are still not over, I guess, the quote unquote trauma that you experienced being voted off the island or whatever. And then with Iris specifically, when you had mentioned that conversation with, you know, 404, it's interesting you mentioned that because I low-key had deja vu watching these last 2 episodes when she had that conversation with Clark and was trying to like push this whole like, that's those snap videos. Like, I don't know. Like I wasn't expecting clubs in Oklahoma. Oh, child, you've never been. So shut the fuck up. Like you've never been. But even at that, it's just like, what are you trying to fuel? Like, oh, I would never allow my boyfriend, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, the same boyfriend was also throwing shade and like slut shaming you when you moved on in the villa. So be mindful. Like, it seems like you don't actually know your boyfriend as much as you think you do.
And then
Yet she was clubbing with the
Yes,
Love Island
Merc.
Games
With Merc.
cast
With
with
Merc.
Merc. And
Exactly.
then
His
some
very
people,
attractive self.
he is.
It
Some
was-
people said
it
she's
was-
taking a dig at Nick, like being in the club all the time as with his
Oh, really?
DJing gigs too. Yeah, like I wouldn't want my man to be in the club like that.
I think she was just projecting.
I mean, is her man
course.
being invited to club appearances?
To make
exactly,
money.
Tina.
To make money. To make money, babe. This my job. Chill out.
How you going to hate from outside the club?
And
What
you can't even get
what
in.
it was what it was honestly giving, y'all, somebody said in the comments, but what it was giving was that moment with Honda Civic and Olandria. the second night or whatever when Sierra got there, it was
Oh,
it was giving my man would never like, and it's not coming from a good place.
right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
It definitely was not coming from a good
It was
place.
poking. It definitely was poking and probing at something like I know you got a boyfriend, but I got the best boyfriend here because he doesn't do any of that.
Right. And it's also like, granted, it's given the situation itself, but it's like the fact that you voiced this or you had concerns regarding Coco and Clark, who have never ever given you like any reason to believe that they were concerned about it themselves, or the fact that, like, for example, with Coco, she's not even in a relationship with this guy. Mind your business. With Clark, she's in a full relationship and she wasn't too concerned about it, but you're trying to make her concerned. Why? She practically lives with this man in Oklahoma. She goes everywhere he goes. Why would she be concerned all of a sudden just because you voiced it out? That was just weird.
Yeah, you point out that they're not even in a relationship, so why are you trying to make mess unnecessarily for them? Let them deal with that.
Talking about if she needs our help, like, you know, like, no one asked for that girl's girl in the moment. Focus on the girl's girl that's trying to be your girl, which is Bella. Like, where did this all come from?
And it's like the only time she knows how to be a girl's girl is when it comes to being angry at a man. That's not a girl's girl. That's what it's like.
Okay. Can we clock the tea? I don't know if y'all have heard this argument before online, but or like this discourse online before, but I tell y'all, it don't be Love Island shit in my FYP, it be other shit, right? So something that had come up is one of the gajillion women that gets online and complains about her man had got online complaining about her man. This might have been the dog food girl where her husband packed dog food for her for her lunch or whatever. After she got online, there was another creator that got on and was talking about how these women get angry at us being like, girl, leave that man doesn't like you, blah blah blah, because their culture is to get together and talk shit about my man and how awful he is to me, and then be like, oh girl, my man too, and then just go back to your man. Right. This is why so many men, right, their culture will be getting together and talking shit about their women and then just going back home to their women. Right. And so I think that she's like to your point, right? The only way she knows how to be a girl's girl is in the advancement of like shitting on a man. And I think that is also just another way in which we are socialized very differently into our girlhood and womanhood. Right. This idea, like, our community, for good or for bad, has a very strong focus on protecting the Black man, right? And so you're never gonna get her to sit up and kiki about how her man ain't shit with you in the same way that you would maybe with another girl, right? It's just not going to happen. And if it was gonna happen, it certainly isn't gonna happen on camera. That's definitely not gonna happen. Right. But this idea of, I do think she's stirring the pot. I do think it was about stirring the pot. I do think it was about wanting a rise out of her. But the fact that, to y'all's point, right, she's getting so agitated about a man touching a woman's hand in defense of a woman that's not even this man's woman. Like, they're talking and going on dates, and that's it, right? But the fact that she wants her to get all riled up about it, and then like and wants her to be riled up about her man too, like that's just not her culture. Clark was never going to do that with you.
No. And I feel like if she had genuine concern for Coco, why are you talking to Clark about it?
Right.
Why don't you pull Coco to the side and say, hey girl, what's, I know you and Chris been talking.
Are you okay?
Are you good? I like how you feel about that. Like, let her say how she feels, because it doesn't matter how you feel, Iris.
Because it wasn't really about what Coco felt. She wanted to know what Clark felt about her man being in the club.
Exactly.
Right.
It was a deflective. It was like she was trying to get.
She was trying to mess on both sides. And I feel like a little bit she was trying to get Clark to call Coco a dumb bitch in a way. Like you trying to
Exactly.
create, like
Mm.
reignite more discourse between the two black girls because y'all have showed y'all natural asses on this show
Right.
being mean
Because
for no reason. Like I know that I think somebody said it before in a previous live. Bella has a little bit of arrested development, or she at least she acts that way. I don't know. You know, she talked about her family dynamic. I don't know about her real life friendship dynamic, but they Bella was casted to be a floater because I think that she had the least amount of time in the villa as everybody, even the Casa people, bombshells, or whatever. Like she was gone like on the third or fourth episode or something like that. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
she didn't meet most of the people until the reunion.
Mhm.
She linked up with Hannah and Jeremiah specifically when they were voted off the show. So and they were kicking it with her because I guess they felt like as a combination they had some type of social capital to look happy and like I ain't tripping and all of that. Then when they felt like I don't know who made them think Iris was that girl, but they just like kicked her to the side and start hanging with Iris. And if y'all get along better, that's one thing. But it was no need to be mean to Bella again. Y'all know the production casted this girl to be a floater. She ain't know
Right.
nobody. The
And
people she had relationships
She
with
was supposed to be
were
the
not there.
bonding agent.
The
She was
glue.
supposed to be the bonding
Yeah.
agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and especially because she has that kind of bubbly personality, she absolutely was supposed to be the bonding, and they literally attacked her for trying to be the bonding glue because
If she was a
like
little
she
more
put
assertive, I think it would have worked better. She's not assertive enough to say, "Hey." She said it, but she let Iris over talk her in terms of when she would explain, like, "Hey, I'm just getting Pepe's side. Me and Pepe are not best friends. He talked to me about it, talking to you about it. You know, we at the Christmas party. Everybody's right here. Go on and get that shit off the table because everybody's trying to hang with each other. Like, this is your work group. Like, we all work together. Make it work.
Yeah.
Like, stop
Yeah.
being so divisive."
Right.
but I feel like
I
with them especially, oh, with
no,
them
go ahead.
especially, like when you were talking about 7-Eleven letter, when you were talking about the situation with Hannah and Iris, when that Clark with Hannah and Clark, I immediately, when I was watching the episode, I was like, oh, they're trying to initiate Clark into that like white woman friendship like hierarchy, like how they do friendship. And Clark, they're trying to like essentially like Clark, get with it, get with it, get with it. But Clark is like, of course, a black woman who socialized as a black woman in mostly black women circles. And so like you said, Tina, talking crap about your man, but also that talking like ish about a woman that you don't like behind her back, knowing that it's going to get back to her, but it's nothing she can do by the time it gets back to her. Like they were trying to like, it's like it's kind of strange because all I feel like part of me was watching for less is like hazing, like forms of hazing that like Hannah and Iris and TJ and Jerry were doing. It's like y'all are hazing these people. This is too much. Like I felt like at some point, like just start throwing chairs. Like I feel like this would be more productive. Everybody just start throwing chairs. Everybody start throwing chairs and throwing bowls. Cause this feels like they would be more productive than the type of conversations y'all having. Because sitting in that couch, that couch conversation, everybody trying to gaslight Grayson. I was like, no, put me in, coach. Put me in, coach, because ain't no way. That's why I was like, you know what? God be knowing what they be like. God knows who to put on TV in the situations. Cause I'm sorry, Coco was holding back a lot because of course black women have to watch how they behave on television. But the fact that Adrena had to be the one to say, like, I can see both sides, and the way that you're behaving, even with anxiety, is really nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I was like, the fact that everyone kept. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, did y'all clock that Amaya hopped on Andreina's train after she called out Hannah leaving? No, I don't. I don't do that. I can't.
I don't like
condone
that. I don't
like that.
No, speak to the hierarchy they tried to create when Coco said, Amaya, you're really good about being, neutral and cordial to
Ooh,
us.
child.
Like, you speak to us, you don't shut us out, you don't put us to the side. And then Iris said, okay, so see, I don't like that. Like, you're trying to put her so
You're
much
just
above us and
praising
say
the
that
her.
she's a better
narrative.
You're
friend than us. And we're
praising her.
so,
Like,
yeah, like, and we're
And
like, I don't fuck with
that's what
that
I
mean girl shit. Yeah, what?
right. And that's what I was saying is like the amount of times, honestly, if I like actually binged the season and played a drinking game, the amount of times that they have intentionally used the word narrative every time someone either calls them out on their BS or is explaining or having a serious conversation where it requires them to hold each other accountable. It's the way in which specifically the Botox Brigade decides to deflect and be like, I don't like this narrative you're pushing. I see this narrative here, this narrative there. And I was just like, you're entirely missing it, because how is it that we're supposed to sit here and be empathetic and give you grace over your anxiety, but someone is literally crying in front of you and your first thought is you're making me look bad?
mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing? Self-reflect. And then you walk away, and it takes your friends who, to a certain extent, after the show, after they left the villa, were considered popular and liked, it takes them being like, you walking away looks bad. Like, that's when like people want to now start reflecting. And that's when it's like, she's going up there like, my head's exploding. I feel like, I'm losing my mind. No one understands me. And you have, Jerry over here enabling it. Like, oh no, it's okay. Your white woman tears. I'll carry them in the bucket. Don't worry. Like,
But what's even wilder to me about that moment, right, is she walks, is that this thing says that's that mean girl narrative that like I'm just not fucking with, right? I don't like that, whatever. They make Iris makes this like clear, like, oh, you're putting Amaya above us and like us below, blah blah blah, which only bothers her because why is she not on the top, right? But like, even when they walked away and she's like, my anxiety is just really fucked up, we didn't see her like have like a calm down of like what happens as your nervous system is so anxious and then begins to like re-regulate itself. That's not what we watched. And that's not what we heard. What we
right.
heard was, I'm so angry. I feel like the little angry guy in the volcano is coming out of my head. That does not sound like anxiety to me. That sounds like anger, what you just said. It does not sound like I am so anxious and so I walked away. It sounds like I am so angry, I walked away. And those are two very different emotional experiences and physical experiences in your body. And so the fact that she is telling us in her confessional how anxious she is and how that is why she comes off this way, but then is saying out loud to Jerry in that moment that she is angry, like the 1 + 1 does not actually equal 2 in this scenario. And so for me, yeah, I also think that like, I think it's Tata says this a lot. But like, lots of people say it, like trauma is, or Anne says it too. Trauma is like an explanation, but it's not an excuse, right? Like, you can be, I am someone that when I am feeling stressed or I'm feeling whatever, like my soft skills are the first thing to go, because it takes a lot of effort for me to think about being nice to you, right? Or being kind to you or whatever, right? That's why y'all saw me that time. Y'all saw me when I was like, listen, I can tell that like I'm feeling overstimulated, so I'm gonna get off the live because I'm gonna start talking crazy to y'all. I know myself, right? That's the first thing to go for me, are my soft skills. So I can relate to that, but I also acknowledge that that's true. I'm not gonna act like that's not real and you're just perceiving me that way, but I'm not actually doing that. I'm clear that I'm fucking tripping because I don't have the space to think my actions through right now. I'm aware of that. And it's like this evasiveness around it, instead of saying, I know that when I get anxious and I'm feeling overwhelmed, it is harder for me to take a step back and really consider the other person. And I do just maybe respond more reflexively. And it may not always be compassionate or thoughtful or kind, there's no accountability around that. It's like, I'm just anxious, and so you perceive me that way, but that's not really what's happening.
Right.
I
Exactly.
also think this cast has a big problem with words meaning things, and a lot of things that people get their 3 therapy sessions and they catch the buzzwords and
Yep.
they want to say, I have anxiety or my mental health and toxic, like these few little buzzwords that everybody brings up, or what about my mental health? And they use it to weaponize, especially them when they get caught and people are trying to hold them accountable. Also, when you spoke on how we're socialized very differently than white people, a big part of white people's socialization is just not being honest at all. They want to appear nice, they want to appear friendly. Like, the difference between their dislike and disdain for each other and Coco and Clark not being cool, it's like, we'll let you know we don't mess with you, but we ain't got to do all of that. But they are pretending. Well, they'll pretend to be nice, but then now it's just the mask has slipped off too much. So
Yeah.
Bella has this notion, oh, we cool enough. Everybody, when we get together, we can hang out. And then it's like, I hang out with y'all, and it's like the complete opposite of what y'all gave me before this. And I'm trying to say it in the nicest way possible. Why? Why are you acting like that towards me? What is it about? But I want Bella, Coco, and Grayson. Stop being the crybaby clique. Like, the way that I would have turned up on them, meaning I would have made us 3 look so lit that they would have came to our table or our room. What y'all doing? What's going on? I want to laugh too. What's going, instead of sobbing and being sad that they not being included? Why do y'all want to be friends with them? They are very boring and nasty and rude.
Every time you turn
Nothing.
around,
Y'all
all they
ain't
doing
missing
is
nothing being
drinking.
friends with them. Y'all are really not missing anything.
They're
Very
literally
nasty
always
and very rude.
drinking
So nasty,
and
so
talking
rude.
about people.
It's like the crybaby clique. Like, it was just like, y'all, if y'all don't make them feel like they missing out on the fun that y'all are having, because they ain't doing shit. They boring as hell.
If we're keeping it a buck, though, it's really not the crybaby clique. It is crybaby Grayson, confused Bella, and annoyed Coco. Is what it's giving
True that.
amongst the
Yeah.
3 of them, right? Like, because Grayson, even after all of that, even after we watched y'all have a conversation in Palm Springs about how you're feeling left out and blah, 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 Grayson still sat in front of them and was like, it was the holiday party when things started to feel weird for me. What the fuck are you talking about? That's not what you said. What are you talking
It's
about?
every time y'all been together, except when you were part of them dog piling on Pepe.
Exactly.
Except when you was part of the funeral. Other than that, when you was part of the fucking Crows crew, you was cool and you're all
Right.
black.
That's
But
why
now,
we know
it's
she
a
wants
problem.
to be a mean
No,
girl.
because that's where when she said that and said the adult friendship, like when I say Iris, girl, when I catch you, you're gonna have to explain that word adult to me. Why was you accentuating adult? Because Tina, I'm me in my theory. Iris has lied to everybody.
Yep.
Like, of course Pepe has lied. He a man. We expect that of him. Like, stop, everybody. We're bored. Like, please. I bet knew Pepe was lying about something. Men lie. Come on. That's every day. The days and why so many
They
men
breathing, they lied about
lie.
something.
Like they lying about something. They don't even, it could be small or big. They gonna lie. We expect that. But you, Iris, you lied about crucial things. And what happened was that you didn't understand the game. You're talking about the game of telephone. You don't understand that people they naturally going to talk to each other because you all are part of a unique experience. This isn't like a friend, like a normal friend group. You guys are actually intertwined and interlocked. And it's even why people are pushing for you guys to be close. It's because you're the only people who've experienced Love Island outside of the other people who experience Love Island, which is it's less than 0.1% of the population. So you all are living a unique experience, meaning that you're going to talk to each other. So what you're trying to do is control a narrative because you were talking to 2 men at the same time. And I feel like sometimes you got to just stand on who you are. I don't like, I was like, people be so afraid to be called a whore as a woman. And of course, that has to do with the patriarchy and all these things. But sometimes you got to stand in your truth, because people want to, like, if you stand in your truth and you don't waver, people really mess with that. People really enjoy that. And I feel like she should have just been like, you know what? I had two baddies. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was trying to figure it out. I decided on this one. Like, and you
Right.
know what? Some things happened to me and Pepe, but neither one of us were to blame, and we weren't in a full out relationship. But she couldn't have that moment because she didn't want to be perceived as a whore. Her mama, the mamas, we don't even talk about those mamas, but the mamas,
The team of Chris Jenner.
that's something. They
Man,
for real managing the relationship. They're managing the relationship. So they're telling them what to do. And unfortunately, they are telling them what to do perceived from a timeline where they grew up, from their own
Right.
social
um,
ideas of
Right.
not
relationships.
today's world of
So
social media.
20, 30 years ago, that would have worked. Those kind
Yeah.
of lies would have worked. But now in the age of social media, it's very hard to tell those type of lies, because as you can see, people are debunking the lies that people are telling in real time. Because you're not going to tell me someone didn't coach Jerry, and as one of the mamas, coach Jerry, to say that his falling out with Pepe wasn't about Iris and Hannah. And I've always said that if Jerry just stood on the fact that he fell out with them because these are my homegirls and I don't like them, that's normal. That's actually normal. People will like, I don't mess with you because my friends don't like you. That's normal social activities that
Yeah.
happen. But you know that people are going to consider you one of the girls, and you for some reason are bucking up against that. Like, I don't know. I know why he's bucking up against being one of the girls, but he's bucking up against that. But it's like, you are. That's why you don't like him. You don't like him because you're one of the girls, and that's okay. You're still a man. Like, but that incel red pill content has to do with him bucking up about having an issue with Pepe. But I have a lot of things to say about Jerry, because also Jerry doesn't like the fact that in the social hierarchy that's created, Pepe is above him in a way. And he has a problem with that. He has a problem with Pepe that's a social political thing. Because if you look at Jerry's friends, you'll notice a common theme of how he does friendship and the type of friends he has, because none of them men are above him in the pecking order. And I noticed that right away, and it always bothered me when he talks about his like hometown friends, the way that they are. I said, this is interesting. You don't allow certain men to be in your inner circle unless it benefits you in a certain way, or they have to be below you socially.
They
Like,
all look like misfits. But y'all gotta remember, he was a lame growing up too. Like, he grew into his looks, and he, started working out and did some modeling and stuff. So that social circle probably matched before he, had his glow up. But now I guess those are still his friends. I don't know. This is what I want the cast to understand. We do not expect y'all to be perfect. Like, we want everybody to be different. We know human beings are flawed, but it's just like, as adults, accountability is a real thing. You can't anxiety your way out of it. You can't cry your way out of it. Trying to lie your way out of it is not working. And it doesn't make sense. And they are so hyper aware of public image and public perception that they're either in denial about how they come across, like the whole world is against us comment, or they're trying to craft a person that they're really not. And it worked a little bit in the villa, I guess, based on the edits they got, but Beyond the Villa did them no favors. Like with Brian, I think Nikki's gone, but when she said the thing about Brian is looking better, I agree. And I've said this too. Everybody came on the show to get some type of level of fame or notoriety, and there's no harm in that. You go on reality TV for that. But the reason I said that I think Brian is a little fame hungry is because he did on this show the same thing he did in the villa. Like, remember when Chris was expressing his frustrations with Houdini and said, man, this, I'm tired of this. And Brian was like, just suck it up so we can, get through it, get to the end. And he kind of did the same thing with Pepe when
With
Pepe was
Pepe.
like, I'm not,
Absolutely.
I don't feel like I did anything wrong. I don't want to do this. And he like, no, just apologize so you can get back in good graces with the clique. Brian, the reason he comes off, and I think Brian has worked in professional environments because he has like an accounting finance degree. So maybe he had a job in corporate for a little bit. So he knows how to play the social game, and how the corporate politics work. So he's using that in this group and just like, I'll do whatever to stay in the clique, right or wrong, I don't care. But then he dealing with a crazy ass girl
I was
who
about to
is so
say,
hot and cold. Like one day we squash it, we cool, and then the next time, don't do that. You're disrespecting my boundaries of my relationship. So it's like, I think
that
that's part of why they
definitely threw
broke
him
up.
off.
Didn't he say
Yeah.
that? Like I didn't know which Amaya I was getting. So it's like, but I don't like that factor of Brian where like just
That
suck it up
definitely threw
to
him off for
to be
sure.
in the good graces of everybody, even though he don't really feel that. He'll pretend that.
So I'm gonna say something that's kind of a hot take. And I'm not trying to provide too much cover. Y'all know how I am about men. But I will say that based on what he's shared about his anxiety, watching his interactions with Amaya, knowing what he dealt with online, I can almost understand him coming into the show and just wanting to keep the peace. Just wanting to clean it the fuck up, right? Because the things I saw in that man's comments when I would like go to his page and look at stuff when I would like be getting ready to make videos about them or whatever, like was fucking sick. It was disgusting, actually. And so I actually can see, if you watched even on this last episode when he was talking to Amaya and she gets ready to get worked up and he's like, no, I understand that and I respect it.
Yeah.
Like he is so clearly, I'm going to use the word afraid of how she might react, which makes me wonder. And he's not the first man. He's like the third, fourth man at this point that is talking about how they have experienced her, right? I think he is being so cautious about how he is with her because of what he might receive from her and then receive from the public as a result. I do think that there is some level of like, you would hope that someone would have enough courage, right? To be like, I'm going to be authentically myself no matter what. And timid is a great word to use, Savage. And I will say that as someone that has been on the receiving end of ridiculous fandoms and him getting it 100 times, 1,000 times fold what I have received, I can understand him showing up that way.
I agree.
Though I don't necessarily agree, and I think maybe he could have just not given any advice because I don't love the advice he gave Pepe. I understand why he might have felt like that was the best thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that
I
with
definitely
Amaya.
think that like even in the situation with Pepe, because obviously I wasn't a fan of his advice to him or Bella's advice to him, but I think specifically with Pepe, it was coming from a standpoint of like, listen, we have been in a public Love Island relationship that came with accusations at the end of it. And you know how the fandom of Love Island is. And I know it was very toxic. Like even in his conversation with Amaya, it was like the way in which he was trying to like steer it left. And he was like, listen, I'm not asking for us to be friends or anything. I just want to make sure that you understand I was not trying to disrespect you or your relationship or make you uncomfortable, because we did like kiss cheeks not that long ago. So I don't see what could have possibly changed from then till now. And she just kept trying to like harp on these boundaries and stuff. And then even after the conversation where he realized it wasn't going anywhere, he was like, okay, cool. Everything you're saying is correct. I'm going to go. And she still like decided to spaz out when she was talking to Clark and flip her hair and all this nonsense and like rep New York, which I can't stand when she does that because I'm from New York and we don't move that way, mind you. What the hell? It's like, girl, please, you eat a bacon, egg, and cheese and you just claim it. Like we don't even recognize you like that, but it's fine. But it's just like the erratic behavior. He was just clearly trying. You could tell like once he recognizes there's no rationalizing it's like, whatever you say. I just don't know what it will be edited like. I don't know what it will look like at the end of this. I just want peace of mind because I've actually suffered from anxiety and my mental health was down the drain dealing with you. So
That's a good point because maybe he saw the same like victimhood white woman tears in Amaya as Iris is gonna throw on Pepe. So that's a good way to look at it.
I do think, to your point though, Seventh Letter, that the energy in which he did it was slimy in the villa. But I also do feel like I read it a little bit differently this
Yeah.
time. The motivation felt different this time.
That's a good point. Because it seemed like the exact same thing, but adding those
Agreed.
points in makes sense. Because I don't agree with apologizing for stuff I didn't do, like Pepe said. You know what I mean? Like, because it's like you're gonna continue this bad behavior, making people think they're wrong and that you're right for doing crazy shit to people and spreading lies on them. If I apologize for something I didn't do, I don't like Iris at all. I don't ever want to see her on anything ever again.
yeah,
She
but
is.
Amaya and her tears, she weaponized those too. So it's like, it's a scary like, I really use the word scary because watching Amaya, Iris, and Hannah and how I felt like they weaponized their tears and how even just explaining things, I would like sit back, rewind, watch it again. I'm like, yep, still didn't make sense. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's
Yeah.
a scary situation to be in because it's further heightened by the fan bases and the public perception and quote unquote productions edit and all that other stuff. Like, I could only imagine based off the comments I saw, those were scary. Just imagine his like actual DMs because
Exactly.
she kept pushing that like he cheated when there was no cheating that actually happened.
Well, and I'm going to say this too, right? She actually didn't say a word. So what we are watching her do on this show is very similar to what we watched her do on social media, right? If I don't say anything, I have plausible deniability because I haven't said anything, but I also haven't corrected anything. So I've just allowed the narrative to run and be what it is, right? And we saw tonight, if we were ever confused before, hi Foodie, hi Toy, we saw tonight, if we were ever confused before, that part of the requirement for her to be in relationship with her is to unequivocally, without question, believe her. And when someone did not do that, we saw the response that they get, right? And so the people that are up in arms for her, I would imagine they are also trained in that you don't go asking for details. You don't go asking for explanations. You just trust what I say at face value. And this is a hot ass take. Maybe it's a hot ass take, but somebody said in the comments, so I know that I'm not on my own. I know that you saw it too. I think that TJ is starting to pick up more of what she's putting down and clocking it.
No, that's why I was like, what they
Yes.
want, what those momagers want is them to have the Jessica and Nick Lachey roll out. They want them to have their own show with TJ and Iris. I was like, this is what y'all want for them. I see the play that y'all trying to play for me. But unfortunate for TJ, I'm sorry, unfortunate for TJ, he's picking up, like, when that Pepe situation happened, when she was controlling it by being present, like physically, like manipulating and controlling by standing there and making sure that whatever evidence was presented, that she could control how the conversation went. I know for a fact, if she wasn't right there, something that she had said would have been transmitted between Pepe and TJ that she had said negatively about TJ. Because
Well,
go ahead.
no.
She
No,
just
go ahead.
I agree.
Iris is not, yes, Iris is good at manipulating, controlling, of course, but Iris is also very simple in this way that, like, I know that she has documented information. Like, she's written things in text. Like, I just know that she has sent messages that would incriminate her. Like, even when it came down to the situation with the TJ, meeting up with TJ, that situation, even the language that was used, I was like, oh, y'all did do something. Because the way that you guys are navigating this conversation, like, and trying to, like, every time she tried to change what Pepe actually said, I said, do you understand when somebody, he's like, I can pull my text messages up. This is what I said. No, that's not what you said. No, he literally said that because he literally has the physical evidence right in front of all our faces.
I
But
agree.
He
Jesus.
read it verbatim.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
he
the thing.
showed his phone to them. When was it ever cool though, if you're in a relationship or trying a situationship or trying to figure out what you're gonna do with Pepe, to like clue him in and tell him, yeah, I'm gonna go meet up with TJ to see if he the same person he was in the villa. Wait, ain't we supposed to be exploring each other? What are you doing? Like,
It
when is that
genuinely,
and I was like,
okay?
and that's
when
the
I
thing. I
tell
said,
you, that, like, just watching all of this unfold, it really showcased, to your point, yeah, she's manipulative and she's calculated, but it's all rooted in like white feminism and privilege, right? And like that puts this rose tinted glasses that like nothing could possibly go wrong. Cause to Tina's point, you just have to believe me, right? Like whatever I say, like, of course you're going to believe me. After I've cried and I've shed crocodile tears, of course I'm the victim here, right? Like, so it's like, regardless of the evidence staring directly in your face, right? She feels like it comes across as, I don't need to actually be as smart or as sleuthy as I need to be because my tears will do me justice. And that's why I'm like watching it all unfold. Like you can clearly see that TJ is like, wait a minute.
exactly. That's what
His
was
first
like.
awakening in front of everybody was when Charlie said, that is
Clock
not
it.
how that happened. I was there
Clock
and
it.
and everything was done in defense of Iris to comfort you because you trying to tell Pepe, well, I just want to see if he the same. And Pepe's like, well, look, this is what people are telling me. This is what I'm seeing him do online. Like he making fun of us. He's making fun of you. So, you know, do with that information what you will. Before, because when she said, oh, Pepe was mad about the text, I was like, go get your bag, TJ. That ain't no shit you gonna say if you this butt hurt over Pepe doing absolutely nothing. Girl, your feeling, you ain't like that TJ was doing that shit
She ain't saying go get your bag, period.
at all.
She ain't saying go get your bag.
TJ. Girl, shut up. You don't
She
even
ain't
fucking
saying
talk
go
like
get your
that.
bag.
Like
What bag is he getting from them
Please.
corny ass TikTok? He ain't getting nothing from that.
exactly.
Get off of
Like,
social media.
Like,
But okay,
please,
so
I told y'all I wanted to be called Ebonics again so they can think they too good to use it. Stop
please,
calling it.
that's
Stop
why
calling
like
it
it's
AAVE.
Ebonics.
It's
Like,
Ebonics,
Okay.
no longer AAVE.
like they
Ebonics
started
keeps
off with
them
a
away.
bang. Like when Hannah
But
walked up to Pepe with that, I'm sorry, I've never in my life, and I know white girls, I ain't never hear them use the PUSSY word. I've never heard them use. I said, excuse me? Yeah, we need to get real strict real fast because that was insane to watch. And you walked up to a man and said that?
Hello, because we know the consequences of doing stuff like that
You
in
know,
our
I'm
community.
like,
That's like it gotta be all the way up there for you to feel comfortable enough to do that. Like, girl, bye. It's too much. It's too many lies. Like you said, Iris ain't that smart. She's very simple. She's not gonna overcomplicate things because she just can't keep up. But like this facade, like
also
I
Hannah.
feel like TJ, that was embarrassing. It was not only enlightening, it was embarrassing for Charlie to say, "Oh no, that's not how it went down." And then the other situation when Pepe was showing the actual text and he showed that cropped BS piece of evidence. It's like, okay, the more time you spend, I think too, the conversation he had with her about Amaya, and she was like, I mean, it just is what it is. She was disagreeing with every piece of logic that TJ put out. And I'm like, TJ, how do you not see that this is the same
no, he
thing she
does.
was doing with Pepe.
He does.
I think he does. I think he does. Like you said, seventh letter, it started at the dinner. And then we had the conversation with Pepe. They didn't show us everything. There was one part where Pepe and TJ are over there talking by themselves and they're going through the phones together. We didn't hear none of that. And then we saw on this Tahoe trip, they're having a very sort of different interaction. He's feeling a way about the way that Amaya responded to Brian. He's like, this doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. He's having the conversation with her. She's dismissing him. He has the conversation with Amaya. She's dismissing him. Some people thought that they were watching Beyond the Villa to see a launch eventually of the breakup of Taylor and Clark. I would not be shocked if it was TJ and Iris.
Well,
I think that they are, well, I know that they are a PR relationship, right? And I think that at some point they're going to realize it's not quite raking in the money the right way. And I think that he actually is seeing that he has been duped in some areas.
yeah, because even in that situation where he confronted Pepe and like they were having that conversation and like looking through the phones, and that's when, you know, obviously she came in with the white girl tears, right? And like walked away, and, you know, Hannah went to go comfort her. If you remember, what she was specifically saying was like, why can't they just leave it alone? Why can't they just leave it alone? And it was very much giving, I am freaked out because they are having conversations, and, you know, TJ, based off the lies he has been fed, is hell bent on like having this conversation and discovering or unrooting like all the things that have been said or done or whatever based off of what Iris has told him. And that's when you could tell, like, the tears weren't because she was frustrated, obviously, right? It was the fact that they were talking and she couldn't control it. Hence why she kept saying, why can't they just leave it alone? But you're the same one who kept harping on the fact that you need him, Pepe, to come to you and apologize and hold himself accountable and all this stuff. You wanted him to come to you. He finally comes, and it's why can't they just leave it alone?
And let's just clock it. And again, I know we're getting an edited conversation, right? I'm sure they talked for much longer than the 7 minutes we saw, or however long it was, right? But let's clock that what she said to Bella was, he needs to apologize for all the lies. But when they went over there, what she said her problem was him saying that she was caught in a cheating scandal. Not all these lies you've told, that the story she's been telling to everyone else was not the story she told to him as to what her actual fucking problem was with him. Those tears were fear. They were fear that they're going to compare notes and find discrepancies.
Exactly.
Yep.
When he pulled that phone out, I saw her heart. When you had that feeling when your heart dropped to your butt?
Drops.
Baby, when you lie him and everybody put the pieces
100%.
together, because I done lied to a couple men in my life. They put their pieces out and, oh, I'm being caught. This is crazy work.
In 4K.
Gotta create a distraction. That's what
Exactly.
she did. And
I gotta
TJ
cry.
didn't come after her when she walked away fake crying. Notice that?
Exactly. Because TJ,
I did.
is that the second time? She on her second strike. That was their second strike. I said, because him not chasing after her, but because he was in this moment like, wait a second. That is the second time in front of these cameras that someone is telling me a totally different story about my girlfriend. Like, and my thing is that they have conversations, but they're not having a real conversation. And that's where you even said 7-Eleven and Tina, we expect you to be human. One thing about it, I done gone back to an ex after I done talked trash about him. Yeah, and I do it again. And I'll tell you what I said about you because we weren't together at the time. I was upset. I'm going to say my words. What you going to do? Because we're still together. That inability for honesty, that you were upset, that's human. That's why I said about Hannah. Hannah denying her anger is actually making her more angry. Like when Tina, you said that she's not having an anxious experience, she's having an angry. I said, you can watch, Brian's having anxiety. You're having anger because Brian's afraid, and you can see him kind of like start to do things. Like you said, Tina, he's doing physical things to try to bring himself to the moment. where she's doing things to try to essentially disassociate from the moment, walking away, overly drinking, clearly doing some other stuff, constantly being in her house fuming. I said, you're watching in real time people putting things together, but what is happening? They're not telling each other the truth about being mean about each other when they weren't together. And that is something that is normal, but it's something that's really hard when you understand that your relationship is built on a lie. Your relationship is not strong enough to withstand you being able to tell the truth. And that's why Iris is always freaking out and panicking and needing to control everyone and control everything, because you know your relationship isn't strong enough to withstand you being nasty about the man that you weren't with at a certain period. You know it's not, because you guys are together for false reasons. And that's why it's like you don't feel like you can tell the truth. And at the end of the day, whether you guys make it another year, 2 years down the line, further, whatever it might be, the real core issues of your relationship are going to cause your relationship to fracture. So whether you, I can't see it happening I think we're on a ticking time bomb. But even if you guys somehow make it to the wedding bells, it's going to be scary. Because I said some people, people love to be together out of spite. They love to, people do a lot of things out of spite.
Yeah.
People are really good at staying in terrible relationships to prove other people wrong. So even if they make it far enough, I think that they truly are going to be that couple that implodes from the inside, where you're going to see it be insane once they decide to go the other directions, because it's going to be such an explosive situation because they refuse to just be honest with each other. Like, the one thing that you should be able to give each other, even when it's really hard, is that honesty. And that's your form of intimacy together as a couple. And you won't give that to each other because you know that you've done things that's just not okay to the other person. But at least give yourself that space to be honest so that you can be upset, so you can move past it. But they can't move past it because their relationship has a faulty foundation. So it's very strange to keep watching. I don't know.
The truth ain't in her. I just want her to understand the stuff that happened that she's trying to overinflate is such a normal thing that people do. You and Pepe were basically pillow talking. He was telling
Yeah.
you things he heard when you and him were together about other people in the cast. It is nothing. TJ was doing a little goofy shit because he was a little butt hurt. I just want her to be honest. You were trying to decide between two guys. This was coming off of Love Island or being a cast member on Love Island is the place where that is pretty much okay to be juggling like that in public with two dudes that, this is like a week or two apart from the different connections of the relationship. And then him telling you stuff that's going on that he heard. You're not going to get me to sit here and believe that Pepe was the only one who had shit coming to his phone. You was telling him stuff too, but you told your real feelings when you were alone with Pepe and when you were alone with TJ, or when you were with Pepe and Charlie, because he clocked your ass. But none of it is this crazy for you to lie this much about it. And also, I remember on the show, Iris said some things basically alluding to she does not like to be alone. So TJ will be a placeholder for her as long as she wants him to, until she finds something else to latch on to. She does not like to be alone. She found somebody who will go along with her BS and do what she likes for now. So that's why he's, if he wants to stick around, but that's why she'll keep him around. She's also a Libra. Libras do not like being alone.
They hate being alone.
She said, part of the reason why she loves him is because he is always there, right? And I do think, I agree with you coming back home that I certainly could see it being like a no, we're going to prove you wrong sort of situation with the two of them for sure. I think we certainly will all know about it because to what TJ said on the episode, right? Their whole lives are on social media. They're posting every day together multiple times, right? Like that is the way that they are choosing to live out their relationship. So interesting that they don't get the PR accusations in the same way other couples do. But like he doesn't like LA. You know, it'll be interesting to watch it play out. I agree. Seventh Letter, you know, I have said and I have talked about it ad nauseum. I feel like at this point, like it would have been fine to just tell us the truth, right? I'm not saying you have to be transparent and say every single thing because I don't think you owe us transparency, right? But you can be authentic, right? And I think that, again, just from what we've seen, authenticity is going to get you further every single day of the week versus a version of yourself that you think that we want, right? Being authentic and being like, yeah, it was hard. I realized my heart was still with TJ and he's such a great person. He's there for me and I love him so much and things just didn't work out. And like all of that would have been fine for that to be your story. Nobody, to your point, coming back home, the narrative or the story they're trying to tell through their mother's lenses don't make sense because it's the year 2026.
Yeah.
Not 66, not 76, not 86. And shit, by 80s, 90s, this would have even, a lot of this would have been fine. You know, like, we're not in an era where it's like you can't just talk about the fact that you were caught up on a person that you still liked and went back to that person. Whatever. Nothing, to your point, Seventh Letter, is all that outrageous. Y'all were
I mean, we
talking.
found Hannah comical for that exact reason. Like, people were like,
we were like, that's so funny, girl.
right.
Solo,
Like in the drama of it all, like, granted, now looking back, it's like, okay, you definitely have a lot unresolved issues. But at the time, it was like, you know what? Yeah, girl, you crashed out for a day and now you realize I'm on Love Island. I'm going to move the fuck on. You know, like it's expected.
Right.
It's okay. Like that is literally the point. None of y'all were in relationships. It is okay.
And I feel like
I'm not gonna lie, that was part of the reason why I liked Hannah at
Me
that
too.
point. I was like, yes, girl, do your
I would have
thing.
done exactly the same. I'd have cried.
Yes.
You'd have thought
She woke up the next day and was like, yeah, y'all, I was tripping. Like, she was just
And no shade, Iris and TJ. I don't know how famous y'all thought y'all were coming off the show. Y'all weren't that hot on nobody radar. That's why y'all had to call TMZ. Y'all could have quietly moved the fuck on and been a part of Beyond the Villa. Pepe did not have to be responsible for any of it.
And that's another thing too. I feel like the sensationalism around that was like, this is OD. We genuinely, y'all could have moved it. That's why I said y'all crave this kind of drama that of course kind of, it's like when you're in your 20s, it is a little bit of you that likes that. I mean, I've done some things in my 20s, so I was like, wow. I was on one. Like, yeah, I was the villain. And so it's like that drama is part of them that is craving this drama, but it's like, you could have moved on, but you don't realize that you would have had the same access to the same capital that's coming your way, moving on quietly as you did dramatically. Like, and being navigated through this lens of the drama, you're thinking, oh, this is like all, all press is good press. But now it's a pressure on you because now people expect a story. They expect information where if you moved on quietly, people really would not be asking so many questions. Now you feel like you got to create a narrative. And like I said, she's kind of simple, so she can't create a good lie. Like she can't be a good liar. And I'm like, and that's really, it really got her. And also another thing about Hannah, I genuinely believe part of Hannah's crash outs all the time is that nobody called Hannah after they got back home. Like that none of the men, Charlie didn't call her, Pepe didn't call her.
Well, Charlie did link up with her. They were on video linked up, but she said it wasn't a match. And that's fine. But she wanted Pepe to come get her. And I think she was happy when she saw that, like, oh, he let Grayson know that he's still tripping off me. He gonna come out for me. Then he linked up with Iris. So that's how I know y'all bitches are not friends.
Yeah.
Like,
Y'all are not for it's like we have a common enemy and we're gonna do whatever it takes
Correct.
to mutually take him down. It's still
Right.
weird. It doesn't make sense. Cause
mhm,
I don't build connections off of negative shit like we both don't like the same people. Let's be
mhm.
friends. That's
And it's only
goofy.
because Iris is with TJ. If let's say that wasn't the case, she would probably still have some like outward vendetta or showcase it more in regards to Iris. Like
Okay.
genuinely.
Like, and
It's
I
the
think
strangest thing ever to
like
me.
it's just I was like that. Also, Hannah's boyfriend, somehow he's sliding through the cracks. You're a clout chaser too. Don't play with me. Get over here. He's a clout chaser too, and people are letting him slide through. I'm like, the people who y'all keep letting slide past, I'm like, they're strange as well. And I don't know how I'm like, the fact that my clients have been taking one hit after another, like they haven't had peace in the villa and out of the villa. But the people who keep just coasting by, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know how y'all keep coasting because it's so obvious to me. It's weirdness. It's so strange. And also, I'm like, people don't want to talk about it. It's a lot of this is very drug fueled, a lot of drugs. Like, it's a lot of drug fueled behavior. And being in club culture and seeing people on drugs, some of the things that happen, I'm like, oh, everybody high. That everybody's high and they're drunk. And this
Listen,
is why this is
what's that?
strange.
Pills and
What's that
potions.
one? What's that one thing? It's like sometimes you're not invited to the party because you don't snatch
Yeah, you
Exactly.
enough of your
don't party
nose.
like they do.
Exactly. And
You
that's
don't
why
party
Bella
like
don't
they
be a part of
do.
the party.
You
That
know,
Bella, you
Bella
might
talking
be
about
under
can I
some
get a water
protection.
shot? Girl, they not invited you to party.
You're not seeing. Like you're not hearing. You're not hearing. Like, sweetie. Some
It's
of
the
these
You
way
people
don't.
got
You're
that
not going
the
on the
coaster.
music
bathroom run
stopped
with
when
that
she asked for
baby.
a water shot. The background music stopped. It was like, oh,
I was
girl.
like,
Like you not down with them like that? Like what's a
yeah, they were
shotski?
like,
Like it was a lot going on. And also, I'm sorry, this is something I've been tickled about with Bella. When Bella was spilling all that tea to Grayson, I said, I know you got a big family because you telling everybody business. You telling your friends business. You sit at that table talking like this is a family reunion. That you're supposed to tell some details, Belle, like not every
Listen,
detail. I said, this
she
is
Ohana
told
means
family.
everything. She
family.
said, y'all not about to be able to say I didn't tell you nothing.
Right.
Exactly.
Ohana, it's like Ohana means family. We all family in
Like,
the
you hear
club.
me? Like, I have 7
In the
siblings. I
club,
said,
we all fam.
We all fam.
we are all family. I said, this is big family coded that you would tell every single detail so that nobody can come back and say that you left out anything. I was
And
like,
she
I was
wasn't wrong.
screaming.
And
He
she wasn't
wasn't.
wrong because didn't he ended up launching his little whatever
Hmm.
relationship with Raven.
Yep. Yep. He with her real bad. They together real bad.
He's still
I
with her
said,
now.
exactly.
So
They figured it out. Listen, Raven in the comments fighting for
Yep.
her
She said
man.
never wrong, just late.
All right, I'm gonna drop down, y'all. I gotta get up and go to work in the
we're
morning.
going to bed, y'all. It is officially the next day. Okay,
It
we're going to
is.
bed. Okay, because we need our rest, and I will see y'all for a live again tomorrow. Don't ask me what time. I will see y'all again tomorrow for a live.
Sweet dreams,
That was
everybody.
All right, bye,
unnecessary,
y'all. It
Tina.
was
That was
fun as always.
unnecessary.
Yes, had a great time. Bye, y'all.
Bye,
Bye.
y'all.